like to get started, so if we could have everyone meet outside back there for the procession so we can start the program. Thank you. Yeah, you just do it. It's easier. It's okay. No, they want everyone to go do the procession and come in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you can do the welcome as they...
They're on. So if you want, just mute it from your
Check.
side.
आनंद गाओ जी अमीरा सवर से के आज मंगल थाओ जी भक्ति नदी पथी श्रद्धा ने भेद दी आज तमारो स्वागत हो आनंद ना गीत थी स्नेहा ना स्मित थी आज तमारो स्वागत
a energy! What a energy! आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है, प्लीज टेक योर सीट्स.
बोलो श्रीमद् राजगुरु देव की जय.
जय जिनेंद्र मुमुक्षुस. आप सभी का इस प्रोग्राम में बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. और अभी इस गाजे बाजे के साथ, इतनी एनर्जी एंड इतने एक्साइटमेंट के साथ जैसे आज हम सब लोग आए हैं, एंड वी हैव श्रीमद् रायचंद जी को हमने वहाँ उनकी चित्रपट को विराजमान किया है, और साथ में वचनामृत वहाँ पर विराजमान की है. इन सब की स्थापना हमारे इधर इसलिए की गई है जिससे हमारे हृदय में we can all set them to our heart as well. So let's start with this program, and just wanted to announce Praveen Shah and Daksha Shah's family. They have set up the Chitrapat of Srimad Rajchandraji and Vachnamrit by Aparna Mehta and family. So before, just starting the program, I just wanted to say, today we are celebrating 155th anniversary of Srimad Rajchandraji, and this is such a auspicious event. Srimad Rajchandraji was a poet, reformer, prodigy, philosopher, scholar, reformer, spiritual guru, and you know him with many, many names as Krupalu Dev, Shatavdhani, and so many. But before I start this program, and I know we all are mumukshus are here, I want to start with the first very basic question. And you can think about it, the answer in your heart. What is our basic objective of our life? हम सबका अपने life के प्रति क्या goal है? हम क्या सोचते हैं? क्या, what we want, like the day when we die, what should we have achieved? किस चीज़ को हम पाकर satisfy होंगे? I'm not answering, just think about yourself. What we are going to achieve in this life, when हम जब मरने वाले होंगे या हम अपनी जब journey end करने वाले होंगे, क्या सोच करके हमें satisfaction होगा? तो इसी उसके साथ ये program, I don't know whatever your objective in your life is, but हम उस सोच के साथ ये program, उस भाव के साथ, I can bet you, this program will inspire you, will motivate you in achieving your objective, and whatever your objective is. So just be in this whole journey, this whole spiritual program that we are having. Give all your bhavs, whatever we are presenting are, back to back, a lot of spiritual journey that Srimad Ji have. We have number of, very motivating and inspirational items, and they will all help you in achieving your goal. जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं, श्रीमद जी, he's been called as a Shatavdhani because he used to perform the memory retention and recollection test in his very early age. He has been the prodigy, and he wrote number of commentaries, number of books, verses, poems, which has inspired not just our lives, along back so many spiritual big gurus and people who have inspired not only just India, but all over the world, whether it's Mahatma Gandhi or Shri Kanji Swamiji, all of us in some or other format. He wrote Atma Siddhi, Vachnamrit. उनकी अतुलनीय प्रतिभा के जो ज्ञान के प्रतीक है, उनको मैं शब्दों में तो बोल ही नहीं सकती. उसको ऐसा है जैसे सूर्य को दिया दिखाने के समान. तो अभी जैसे हमारा प्रोसेशन कंप्लीट हुआ, उसके बाद मैं सबसे पहले जैसे हमारे जितने भी प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, वी स्टार्ट विद अ वेरी ऑस्पिशियस आवर मंगलाचरण, बिकॉज वी बिलीव दैट whenever we start something auspicious, it needs to be spread with the पवित्रता के साथ, अच्छी vibes and positivity के साथ we should start. So first we'll start with the Manglacharan. The Manglacharan is Shrimad Ji's Chitrapat, and Manglacharan is from the Jain tradition to start out any program or event. And this is by, here, we're gonna see it on the audio. Audio, please.
नमो हरिहन्ताणम् नमो सिद्धाणम् नमो आयर्याणम् नमो उवजायाणम् नमो लोये सवसाहुणम् ऐसो पंच नमोकारो सव पाव पणासनो मंगलाणं च सवेसिं पढमं हवै मंगलम् पढमं हवै मंगलम्
प्रथम नमो अरिहंतने बीजा सिद्ध भगवान आचार्य जायने नमी नमो साधु भगवान त्रिलोक नाजिन बिंब नमी नमु जिनवाणी मां श्री कुंद कुंद देवने नमी नमो सद्गुरु देवा
So beautiful. श्रीमद जी की लाइफ से मैं स्टार्ट करने से पहले एक प्रसंग सुनाना चाहूँगी, और मुझे ये बहुत छोटा सा प्रसंग है उनके जीवन का, बट बहुत ही मार्मिक, बहुत ही इमोशनल। श्रीमद जी एक बार श्रीमद जी की माँ देवबा मेहता। देवबा ने उन्हें सब्ज़ी काटने के लिए, सब्ज़ी सुधारने के लिए सब्ज़ी दी। उस टाइम श्रीमद जी बहुत छोटे होंगे, उनकी उम्र 10 साल से कम की थी, और श्रीमद जी सब्ज़ी काट रहे थे अपनी माँ के कहने पर, और हरी सब्ज़ी थी और वो उसके काटते जा रहे थे, लेकिन उनकी आंखों से आंसू निकले जा रहे थे। बहुत ही, उनकी माँ ने बोला, अरे इतनी सी सब्ज़ी दी है, तू इतनी इसमें रो क्यों रहा है? बट श्रीमद जी के मन में इतनी वो पीड़ा थी, वो उस हरी सब्ज़ी को देख करके भी उन्हें लगा कि मैं कितने जीवों की हिंसा कर रहा हूँ, कितना छोटा लेकिन इतना मार्मिक, इस करुणा, छोटे से छोटे, सूक्ष्म से सूक्ष्म, माइक्रो टू माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स, ही वॉज बीन सो मच filled with empathy and so much of sympathy उनके प्रति थी. He is such a big Krupalu Dev. तो ये तो एक छोटी सी उनकी जीवन का एक पार्ट है, छोटा सा फैक्ट है, बट आगे हम और भी उनके जीवन चरित्र के बारे में देखते हैं, जानते हैं. परम कृपालु देव श्रीमद राजचंद्र जी, he was a devout, a disciplined and of Bhagwan Mahavir, Kundacharya, and he lived for no other reason but the deliverance of sincere seeker. In his short but divinely productive life, Srimad Ji Rajchandra unearthed the essence of the Jainism that had long been lost in the sands of time, but we'll now hear his life sketch from Diya, Shifali, and Ashna Shroff. So over to you. Okay.
Several enlightened souls. Come here. Mike? Okay. Several enlightened souls have lived by the principles of Jainism and the teachings of the Tirthankars. One such exalted soul who inspired a number of people to become spiritual and ethical was Shrimad Rajchandraji. Let us peek into the past to understand the life of this remarkable soul in greater detail. Param Krupalu Dev Shrimad Rajchandra, whose full name was Shri Raichand Bhai Ravji Bhai Mehta, he was born on November 9, 1868 at Vavanya in Saurashtra. His family belonged to a well-known merchant community. His father's name was Ravji Bhai and mother's name was Devabai, who was a devout Jain. Young Shrimadji began to study the Jain scriptures. At the age of 7, Shrimadji had an experience. A young man named Amichan Bai was bit by a snake and died immediately. Being a thoughtful and reflective child, the idea of death gripped Shrimadji. He ran to his grandfather and asked, "What is death?" His grandfather replied that his soul has left his body. His body will be taken to be burnt at the cremation ground. Wanting to fully understand, Shrimadji climbed up a tree and watched the cremation. He began to wonder, if the body was there, what is the substance that left? That's when he began to see some of his past lives in the vision. He had experienced Jati Smaran Gyan, knowledge of previous lives. When Shrimadji joined school at the age of 7, he amazed his teacher that he knew everything from numerals to Gujarati to poetry. Within a year, Shrimadji completed what would take most students 4 years to study. At the age of 8, he composed 5,000 stanzas on various subjects. By the time he was 13, he had studied a variety of religious texts. His ability to learn and write poetry were both extraordinary. He began to be known as Kavi Raichand the poet. Shrimadji was a very compassionate person. Through his mother's influence, he was familiar with avoiding injury to all living beings. Once, when his mother asked Shrimadji to chop vegetables, tears streamed down his eyes. He could feel the pain of the souls in those vegetables. Shrimadji's grandfather passed away when Shrimadji was 10 years old. This provoked some fundamental questions. Shrimadji wondered about life, death, and the mysteries of the soul. Shrimadji could now see into the future. He foresaw many incidents. In his compassion, he would often forewarn others of any dangers ahead. His heart felt so much compassion for the tiniest of creatures, and for human beings it knew no bounds.
The economic condition of Shrimadji's family took a downturn. Despite being a bright student, Shrimadji gave up school at the age of 13. He readily accepted the role in their shop and saw his responsibility to his parents as a duty. Shrimadji could balance his work in the shop and his inner spiritual development. While he learned the business, he studied religious and spiritual writings and composed many poems. He adopted the principle of what is true is mine. Shrimadji wanted to show the world the true path and put an end to ignorance, folly, and pain. Ages 13 to 16 were a time of deep religious contemplation and insight for Shrimadji. He had great faith in the authors of the scriptures and quoted them in his works, casting light on their meaning. Through these scriptures, after he gained a true understanding of Bhagwan Mahavir's path, Shrimadji composed Mokshamara, in which he explained in detail the importance of Vairagya, detachment, Upsham, calmness, Vivek, wisdom, and the deeper meaning of the 12 bhavnas, reflections. Shrimadji was only 16 years old when he composed this remarkable book in just 3 days. While writing the 67th verse, ink spilled on it, so he had to rewrite it. As a replacement, he authored a thought-provoking poem called Amulya Tattva Vichar, Invaluable Thoughts on Truth, in which Shrimadji describes the rarity of human incarnation. He explains that those who see the purpose of their lives as increasing power, wealth, and importance of family seek illusionary happiness and are losing the purpose of their lives. In 1886, Shrimadji asked his mother for permission to go to the forest and become an ascetic. His mother did not wish to lose him and asked him to reconsider his decision. Shrimadji did not want to cause his mother any grief and said, "Mother, I will respect your wishes." The great irony of Shrimadji's life is that although he was keen to live a life of renunciation and indifferent to worldly attachments, he was not able to follow his path. He gave up public demonstrations, turned down fame and glory, all so he could pursue his spiritual development, and yet he was forced to marry. Due to his mother's selfless love for him, he agreed to become a householder. At the age of 20, he married Zakabai in Vavanya, and they had 2 sons and 2 daughters. Shrimadji knew his karma accumulated from his past lives were the reason for his marriage. For moksha, all karmas must be shed. They must be born with equanimity. He wrote, "How strange is the bondage of karma. I now must indulge in things that I have never even dreamed of, and that pains me. We must bear the consequences of our previous karmas and make sure that the new ones are not made. Therein lies salvation." Shrimadji learned to assess and value diamonds from Maniklal Gelabai, who was impressed with Shrimadji's talent and intellect. Within 2 years, Shrimadji set up a firm in Mumbai and earned an international reputation conducting business in England, Africa, and Myanmar. He followed a strict code of conduct and ethical practices. Profit-making was of secondary importance. He wrote, "The whole world is in the business of taking something, while we are in the business to pay off debts from our past lives." Shrimadji had 4 foremost devotees who took his message far and wide. They were Sri Jutabai, Sri Ambalabai, Sri Sobhagbai, and Sri Laluji Muni. All of them attained self-realization by following Shrimadji's teachings and guidance.
After Shrimadji met Sobhagbai and their bond continued to grow, Shrimadji gained considerable momentum in his spiritual journey. In 1891, at the age of 23, Shrimadji attained pure Samya Darshan, or self-realization, the turning point in spiritual terms. As Shrimadji's Darshan Mo,
the karma which leads to delusion and misidentification with the physical, the root of all karmas and thus rebirth, gradually eroded, he gained the direct experience of the soul. He writes to Sobhagbai that I have experienced the soul is beyond doubt, and that I am free of bonds is the eternal truth. Since dawn, God has shown me amazing grace, and I am experiencing true devotional union, or para bhakti. Srimadji and Gandhiji met in 1891. Gandhiji asked Srimadji questions about the soul, God, emancipation, and reincarnation. Srimadji's responses were filled with logic, intellect, and spiritual experience. Srimadji had enormous impact on people's lives that he touched. Outwardly, he looked like any other householder, but internally, he was a highly enlightened person. One day, Laluji Munni asked him to grant him samyadarshan. Srimadji wrote a letter of 6 fundamental tenets called Atma Siddhi Shastra and gave it to Laluji. This letter reflects the philosophies that lay at the heart of Srimadji's life. The 6 tenets are: soul exists, soul is eternal, soul is the author of its own karma, soul bears the fruits of its karma, there is salvation, and there is a path to salvation. The letter outlines the true nature of the relationship between the soul and the universe, and with the guidance of a true guru, one can progress. When Srimadji shared this letter with Sobhagbai and asked him to memorize it, Sobhagbai made a humble request to convert the prose into poetry. In response, Srimadji asked Ambalalbai to hold the lantern, and he fit the vast ocean of learning into a small vessel of 142 verses of poetry in just 90 minutes. At the age of 28, Srimadji retired from his business to continue his spiritual growth and detachment from worldly attachments. At the age of 29, he was tending to his sick mother. While sitting by her bedside, Srimadji composed a Purva Afsar, or unprecedented moment, expressing his total yearning for detachment. It talks about the soul's state as it ascends the spiritual ladder from the 4th rung to the 14th rung, or from Samyak Darshan to Kevalnan, the final stage before attaining salvation. Srimadji was totally devoted to Bhagwan Mahavir. His life's only purpose was to realize his soul and to help others by spreading Bhagwan Mahavir's true message. In 1901, Srimadji suffered from an incurable disease. While his health was deteriorating, his inner state was in perfect equanimity. On the morning of the 5th day of the latter half of Manchetra, Srimadji was fully conscious. He told his brother, "Do not grieve and take care of our mother. I am now immersing myself into my inner self." He had immortalized his message: there is not craving for life, nor fear of death. At 2 p.m. that day, in the city of Rajkot, the divine spirit of Shrimad Rajchandra left the body known by that name. The immortal inner flame rose above this mortal world. In just 33 years, Srimadji contributed to the cause of religious reawakening, which is normally not possible even in countless lives. Not only did he attain the greatest bliss for his own self, but he also blessed the world by casting the light of true path to self-realization. Jai Janendra.
What an inspiring life. What an inspiring life. Thank you, Diya, Shefali, and Ashna for taking us to the journey of Shrimad Rajchandraji. Shrimad Rajchandraji has put down together Mokshmala, Atma Siddhi, and so many good, even the path to our moksha, all those 7 steps. But the work is amazing, and I just wanted to start, say a few lines of his, one of the Amulya Tattva. Bahu पुण्य पुंजक प्रसंग से शुभ देह मानव का मिला, तो भी अरे भवचक्र का फेरा न एक भी टला. सुख प्राप्ति हेतु प्रयत्न करते, सुख जाता दूर है, तू क्यों भयंकर भाव मरण प्रभा में चकचूर है. This is a blessed human life and has been gifted, and on numerous occasions by virtue of auspicious karmic deeds, and yet not a single loop of this cycle of rebirth has ever been averted. Despite our best efforts in pursuit of materialistic pleasures, true happiness remains, elusive like a mirage. And these are from Amulya Tattva Vichar, Shrimad Rajchandraji's our Krupalu Dev. With that, I'm moving to our next item. This is for the Shrimad Ji's Patrang, which is compiled by Aparna Mehta. And for this next item, Aparna Mehta, she's going to speak about Shrimad Ji's letters and his messages, following a message of just 3 letters. It's to attain the self-realization, which I think Ashna, Shreya, they just mentioned in their the life journey of Shrimad Ji's. So over to you, Aparna.
જય જિનેન્દ્ર, હું અપર્ણા મહેતા છું. આજે આપણે શ્રીમદ રાજચંદ્રની જન્મ જયંતિ ઉજવવા માટે ભેગા થયા છે. અને આપણે કેટલા ભાગ્યશાળી છે કે આપણને શ્રીમદ રાજચંદ્ર અને પૂજ્ય કાંજી સ્વામી જેવા જ્ઞાનીના બોધનો સાથ મળ્યો છે. કેમ કે એ લોકોએ ભગવાનની વાણીનો આખો ખુલાસો કરીને આપણા હથેળીમાં મૂકી દીધું છે. મારા ગુરુ મારા ફાધર છે શ્રી પંકજભાઈ મહેતા, અને એમના ગુરુ શ્રી દેવચંદભાઈ શાહથી હું શીખી છું કે શ્રીમદજીએ એટલી સરળતાથી પોતાના આત્માને જાણવાની, પ્રાપ્ત કરવાની રીત બતાડી છે કે જેને પોતાના આત્માને જાણવાની જિજ્ઞાસા હોય તો એ સમ્યક દર્શન લેયા વગર રહેશે નહીં. તો મારી સમજ પ્રમાણે આજે હું શ્રીમદજીના 3 પત્રાંકનું મેસેજ હાઈ લેવલ ઉપર શેર કરું છું, કેમ કે મારો વિશ્વાસ છે કે ખાલી આ 3 પત્રાંકને અનુસરીએ તો સમ્યક દર્શનની પ્રાપ્તિ થઈ શકે છે. તો એ છે પત્રાંક 108, જેમાં શ્રીમદજી અવલોકનની પ્રેક્ટિસ બતાડે છે. પત્રાંક 200, જેમાં સદગુરુની ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સની વાત કરે છે. અને આત્મસિદ્ધિ, કે જે પણ આપણને સમ્યક દર્શન પ્રાપ્ત કરવાની માટે જે પણ જ્ઞાનની જરૂર છે એ બધું આત્મસિદ્ધિમાં એમને બતાવ્યું છે. તો આપણે ફર્સ્ટ લઈએ પત્રાંક નંબર 108. શ્રીમદજી કેટલા વર્ષોથી પોતાની શાંતિને ખોજતા હતા. એમનું સમ્યક દર્શન તો એમનું જાતિ સ્મરણ તો at the age of 7 થયું. તો 16 yearsથી ખોજતા હતા. ત્યારે એમના પોતાના આત્માથી જવાબ આવ્યો કે સુખ પ્રાપ્ત કરવાની માટે સ્ટાર્ટ ક્યાંથી કરવું. તો એમનો જ આત્મા એમને કહે છે કે હે રાજચંદ્ર, તું બ્રહ્મા નહીં પડ, તું જાગૃત થઈ જા. તું જ્યાં સુખ શોધે છે ત્યાંથી તને નહીં મળે, અને જ્યાં તારી ચીજ છે તું ત્યાં જોતો નથી. સુખ બહારની કોઈ પણ ચીજમાં નથી. એટલે કે સંયોગ, કુટુંબ, શરીર, દેવ, શાસ્ત્ર, ગુરુ ક્યાંય નથી. સુખ અંતરની સમશ્રેણીમાં છે. સમશ્રેણી, અને ધ વે આઈ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ કે સનનો રેઝ અગર આપણે જોઈએ અને રેઝને ફોલો કરતાં કરતાં ઇફ યુ લુક બેક એટ ધ સોર્સ, દેટ ઇઝ ધ સમશ્રેણી. દેટ્સ હાઉ આઈ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ ઇટ. કે આપણી નજર હમણાં સીધી બહાર છે. અગર એ નજર આપણે અંદર ફેરવીએ તો આપણને આનંદ મળી શકે છે. અને તો એમનો આત્મા એમને કહે છે કે અગર તું તારી દૃષ્ટિને ફેરવી લે અને જ્યાંથી જ્ઞાન આવે છે, અગર તું તારી દૃષ્ટિ ત્યાં જોવે તારા દૃષ્ટિથી તો તને આનંદ મળશે. પણ ત્યાં જવું અને ત્યાં સ્થિર રહેવું ઘણું અઘરું છે. તો શ્રીમદજી વિચારે છે કે આ આત્મજ્ઞાન માટે મને શું અટકાવે છે. અને એમના જ પોતાના આત્મામાંથી આ જવાબ આવે છે કે અગર તારી નજર બહાર હોય તો તું બહારની વસ્તુઓને જાણે છે, અને જ્યારે બહાર નથી જોતો તો તું અંદરના વિકલ્પને જાણે છે. પણ એ વિકલ્પની પાછળ જે જાણનાર છે, અગર તું એને જાણે તો કામ થઈ જાય છે. અને ત્યાં જવા માટે શ્રીમદજી આ પત્રાંકમાં 16 દોષોને તટસ્થ રીતે જોવાનું રીત બતાડે છે. તટસ્થ રીતે એટલે કોઈ પણ ભાવ આપણે જોઈએ તો ગમે તો ખુશ નહીં થવું અને ન ગમે તો દુઃખી નહીં થવું, રાઈટ. અને અહીંયા તો 16 પોઈન્ટ્સના બદલે હું એક જ પોઈન્ટ પર થોડું શેર કરું છું. પોઈન્ટ નંબર 16, શ્રીમદજીનો આત્મા એમને કહે છે કે તારો એટલો જ દોષ છે કે બીજાને પોતાના માનવું અને પોતેને ભૂલી જવું. કેટલી સિમ્પલ વેમાં શ્રીમદજીએ કહી દીધું કે જે આપણી વસ્તુ છે એ આપણી જ પાસે છે, એ ક્યારેય આપણાથી છૂટી નથી થઈ, અને જે વસ્તુ આપણાથી છૂટે છે એ આપણી ક્યારેય હતી નહીં. અને આ વાત સાંભળવાને બહુ ઇઝી છે, પણ આને અનુસરણને રહેવું એ કાફી કઠિન છે. અને આ પત્રાંકમાં શ્રીમદજી અવલોકનની પ્રેક્ટિસની રીત બતાડે છે. એ કહે છે કે સચ તો ખૂબ નિકટ છે, જો નિકટ ન લાગે તે જ જીવનો મોહ છે. અને મૂવિંગ ઓન, તો હવે આપણને ખબર પડી ગઈ કે અવલોકનની પ્રેક્ટિસ શું કરવાની, આપણી ભૂલો ક્યાં થાય છે, અને એ ભૂલોને મટાવવાને એક તરીકો બતાડે છે શ્રીમદજી ઇન પત્રાંક નંબર 200. આ પત્રાંક શ્રીમદજી સૌભાગભાઈના દીકરા મણિ માટે લખે છે, અને એમને સદગુરુની ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સ, જે સૌથી ગુપ્ત રહસ્ય છે, એમની અહીંયા બહુ સરળ રીતે વિધિ બતાડી છે કે જીવ અજ્ઞાનના કારણે પોતાને ભૂલી ગયો છે, અને એટલે એને સાચું સુખ મળતું નથી. સાચું સુખ મળવા માટે એને સાચા જ્ઞાનની જરૂર છે, અને સાચા જ્ઞાનને પામવા માટે એમને સાચા જ્ઞાનીની શોધ કરવી પડે. આ પત્રાંકમાં શ્રીમદજી 14 પોઈન્ટ્સનું એક્સપ્લેનેશન આપે છે, અને કહે છે કે જીવનો મોટામાં મોટો દોષ સ્વચ્છંદ છે, પણ તે જ્ઞાનીના ચરણ કમલમાં સરેન્ડર થાય તો એ સ્વચ્છંદ ચડી શકે છે. અને અહીંયા બીજી એક વાત કહે છે કે જ્ઞાની ભક્તિ ઈચ્છતા નથી, પણ જ્ઞાની ઉપર ભક્તિ આવ્યા વગર ધર્મની પ્રાપ્તિ થતી નથી. આઈ ડોન્ટ નો કે તમે કનેક્શન કરી શકો છો, બટ ફોર મી ધીસ વોઝ સો એનલાઇટનિંગ. ધીસ વોઝ ધ પત્રાંક that was very life changing for me, and I didn't even realize that it changed my life. My father actually picked up on it. So he says આમાં કે શ્રીમદજી કહે છે કે ગુરુ પાસેથી જ્ઞાન નહીં, ભક્તિ માગવી, કેમ કે ભક્તિ વિના તો જ્ઞાન શૂન્ય છે. તો આપણે અવલોકનની પ્રેક્ટિસની રીત શીખી લીધી, સદગુરુની ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સ, ભક્તિની ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સની વાત સમજી લીધી. નાવ વી ગો ઓન. અહીંયાથી અગર આપણે જઈએ તો શ્રી આત્મસિદ્ધિ શાસ્ત્રમાં જોઈએ અને એમને ઊંડાણથી આપણે સમજીએ તો મોક્ષ કેવી રીતે પ્રાપ્ત કરી શકાય, એની માટે જે પણ જાણવાની જરૂર છે એ બધું જ આ 142 વર્સીસમાં શ્રીમદજીએ એક્સપ્લેન કર્યું છે. મારા ફાધર એમ કહેતા છે કે આત્મસિદ્ધિ ઇઝ મિની સમયસાર, અને ગુરુ ગમ્ય જ સમજાય એમ છે. પૂજ્ય કાજી સ્વામી શ્રીમદજીની મહિમા કરતા થાકતા નહોતા, તો એ કેવા હશે? ગુરુદેવ કહેતા હતા કે શ્રીમદનો વિશાળ હૃદય અને ઉજ્જવળ અંતકરણને જાણવા માટે ઘણી પાત્રતા જોઈએ. તેમને કહ્યો છે કે એમનો ક્ષયોપસન સૌથી ઉજ્જવળ વધારે હતો, પાછળ તો ઘણી નિર્મળતા હતી. તો એમની શૈલી ને કહેવાની પદ્ધતિ તો શું ગજબની છે. એમને આત્મસિદ્ધિ લખીને સૌરાષ્ટ્રના જીવો પર ઘણો ઉપકાર કર્યો છે. તો શ્રીમદજીએ આત્મસિદ્ધિ દ્વારા આ પોઈન્ટ્સનું એક્સપ્લેનેશન આપ્યું છે. બહારની ક્રિયા કરવાના શું પરિણામ છે, કુગુરુને કેવી રીતે ઓળખવા, સદગુરુને કેવી રીતે ઓળખવા, અને મોક્ષ પ્રાપ્તિ માટે જે 6 મુદ્દા છે એમનો ખુલાસો કર્યો છે કે મોક્ષ આત્મા છે, આત્મા નિત્ય છે, આત્મા કર્તા છે, આત્મા ભોગતા છે, મોક્ષ છે અને મોક્ષનો માર્ગ છે. રાઈટ? માર્ગ એટલે શું? અવલોકન અને ભેદ જ્ઞાનની પ્રેક્ટિસ. તો ભક્તિનો માર્ગ બતાડે છે. શ્રીમદજી કહે છે કે મુમુક્ષુ જગતને રૂડું દેખાડવા આચરતા નથી, જે રૂડું છે તે જ આચરે છે. અને આત્મસિદ્ધિની એક પણ ગાથા આપણને સમજાય તો જીવનો માર્ગ પલટી જાય છે. તો આજે હું સમરીમાં ખાલી એક કહું છું કે આપણે આત્મા જાણવાની જિજ્ઞાસા, અગર આપણને આત્માને જાણવાની જિજ્ઞાસા હોય તો અવલોકનની પ્રેક્ટિસથી સ્ટાર્ટ કરીએ, સદગુરુની શોધ કરીને એમના ચરણ કમળમાં સરેન્ડર થઈએ અને આત્મસિદ્ધિની એક એક ગાથાને ઊંડાણ કરીને આપણે ઉતારીએ અને સમજીએ તો કામ થઈ પડે છે. શ્રીમદજીનું સમ્યક દર્શન તો 1891માં થયું હતું, પણ એમને 1 વર્ષ પહેલાં જ ખબર પડી ગઈ હતી કે એ એક ભવતારી છે. આ તો ખાલી 10 કે 12 મિનિટ જ હતી. શ્રીમદજીની માટે કાંઈ પણ જેટલું પણ કહીએ એ ઓછું જ છે. થેન્ક યુ ફોર લિસનિંગ. જય જિનેન્દ્ર.
भेद ज्ञान और अवलोकन. So practice of अवलोकन and भेद ज्ञान. आप सभी सुनकर के अपर्णा जी को समझ गए होंगे ये कितनी बड़ी मुमुक्षु हैं, and lot of intelligence, lot of hard work in reading and doing and following up with Srimad Ji's teaching. Aparna ji, she's by profession, she's an executive in UPS, but she's been following Srimad Ji's Swadhyay and reading her books, and she mentions that her dad has made a very contributing role in changing her life perspective. So yeah, that was Aparna ji. Thank you so much. Okay, I think when I was listening this, it just reminded me one more incident from Srimad Ji's life, and just wanted to share that. One time, Srimad Ji's, there's one very big business family in India, Jamshedji, Ratanji, Tata, and one time Srimad Ji, he visited Jamshedji's house, and Jamshedji was just, showcasing his house. It was a beautiful, lavish house, and he was showing his furniture and like beautiful, lavish, all imported paintings and the lifestyle he's having. Srimad Ji was like, he was looking around and finally he said, "Who's going to use that? Iska bhog kaun karega?" That changes so much with Jamshedji's thought in that, and eventually he was also inspired and he was on the path of charity, donation. He started his lifestyle changes. He started contributing towards what he's been gaining through his business. So see how small things, but it's eventually touches everyone's of our life. And it's, again, I'm repeating that we need to see where are we with our objective, and this program is going to help you, whatever your objective is, how you take it that path. With that, the next program is, the next performance is from Nikhil Dami. He's going to do a Bhakti for Shri Sahaj Atma Swarup Chung. Nikhil, he is by profession, he's a software engineer, and he grew up listening to Srimad Ji's Rajchandraji Bhakti, Shri Jashan Bhai of the Ali Ashram since the age of 5. And he considered himself immensely fortunate to know about Srimad Rajchandraji's and his Vachnamrit in his life as he teaches the true Atma Dharma on the basis of Jainism. Okay, so over to you, Nikhil.
Thank you, Prabhavi.
So just shifting gears now, I think we learned about Shrimad Rajchandraji's life and a lot of the good things, all the things that he has teach us. But હમણાં પહેલાં જ બેને કીધું કે ભક્તિ એક સર્વોપરી માર્ગ છે. શ્રીમદજીએ પણ ભક્તિનું ખૂબ મહાત્મ્ય કીધું છે. તો we'll start with little bit of bhakti as we are celebrating Shrimad Rajchandraji's birth anniversary, Janm Jayanti. તો આપણે ભક્તિ કરીશું થોડી અને બધા સાથે જોડાશો. આપણે ભક્તિની થોડી કોપી પણ રાખી છે. સો આઈ થિંક સચિનભાઈ હેઝ ઓલરેડી શેર્ડ. અને કેન વી હેવ ધ હાઉસ લાઇટ્સ પ્લીઝ while we are setting up? So and everybody is welcome to participate. So please sing along and enjoy. I think he's going to turn on the lights for the stage. So બધા ખૂબ ઉત્સાહથી જોડાજો. અને આ ઉલ્લાસનું પદ છે. શ્રીમદ રાજચંદ્રજી પ્રત્યે જે અહોભાવ અને જે આપણા સદગુરુ તરીકેનું આપણે ઘણા બધાને જે એમના પ્રત્યે ભાવ છે એની એ લક્ષીને પદ છે. ઓમ श्री सहजात्म स्वरूप छो सद्गुरु राज. श्री सहजात्म स्वरूप छो सद्गुरु राज. करुणा रसना कूप छो सद्गुरु राज. करुणा रसना कूप छो सद्गुरु राज. श्री सहजात्म स्वरूप छो सद्गुरु राज. श्री सहजात्म स्वरूप छो सद्गुरु राज. करुणा रसना कूप छो सद्गुरु राज. करुणा रसना कूप छो सद्गुरु राज. श्री शुद्ध चैतन्य स्वामी छो सद्गुरु राज. श्री शुद्ध चैतन्य स्वामी छो सद्गुरु राज. सर्व प्रकार निष्कामी छो सद्गुरु राज. सर्व प्रकार निष्कामी छो सद्गुरु राज. श्रीमद सद्गुरु राज छो सद्गुरु राज. श्रीमद सद्गुरु राज छो सद्गुरु राज. पंडित जन शिरताज छो सद्गुरु राज. पंडित जन शिरताज छो सद्गुरु राज. श्रीमद तारण तरण जहाज छो सद्गुरु राज. तार ओके મને અવાજ સંભળાતો નથી બધાનો પણ બધા પ્લીઝ જોઈન ઇન. तारण तरण जहाज छो सद्गुरु राज. तारण तरण जहाज साचा गरीब निवाज छो सद्गुरु राज. प्रेमी जनों ना प्राण छो सद्गुरु राज. प्रेमी जनों ना प्राण छो सद्गुरु राज. मारा अंतर जान छो सद्गुरु राज. मारा अंतर जान छो सद्गुरु राज. जोयो में जुगते करी सद्गुरु राज. जोयो में जुगते करी सद्गुरु राज. फरी फरी ने फेरा फरी सद्गुरु राज. फरी फरी ने फेरा फरी सद्गुरु राज. आप विना न देख्यो कशु सद्गुरु राज. आप विना न देख्यो कशु सद्गुरु राज. हूँ तू ते तम वशु सद्गुरु राज. हूँ तू ते तम वशु सद्गुरु राज. व्यापी रया छो साथ मां सद्गुरु राज. व्यापी रया छो साथ सद्गुरु राज. આવ્યા છો મારા હાથમાં સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. 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 હવે ન છોડું છેડલો સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. હવે ન છોડું છેડલો સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. મૂકું નહીં તારો કેડલો સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. મૂકું નહીં તારો કેડલો સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. હવે ન છોડું છેડલો સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. હવે ન છોડું છેડલો સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. મૂકું નહીં તારો કેડલો સદ્ગુરુ રાજ. મૂકું નહીં તારો કેડલો જાણ્યા તમને જ્યારથી સદગુરુ હું ને મારું ગયું ત્યારથી સદગુરુ રાજ હું ને મારું ગયું ત્યારથી સદગુરુ રાજ આવ્યા મંદિર માણવા સદગુરુ રાજ આવ્યા મંદિર માણવા સદગુરુ રાજ પૂર્વની પ્રીત પ્રમાણવા સદગુરુ રાજ પૂર્વની પ્રીત પ્રમાણવા સદગુરુ રાજ હેત અમારું જોઈને સદગુરુ રાજ હેત અમારું જોઈને સદગુરુ રાજ ભેટ્યા દુવિધા ખોઈને સદગુરુ રાજ ભેટ્યા દુવિધા ખોઈને સદગુરુ રાજ કહેવું તે વ્યવહાર છે સદગુરુ રાજ કહેવું તે વ્યવહાર છે સદગુરુ નિશ્ચય મૌનિક સાર છે સદગુરુ રાજ નિશ્ચય મૌનિક સાર છે સદગુરુ રાજ રત્નત્રયના રાય છો સદગુરુ રાજ રત્નત્રયના રાય છો સદગુરુ રાજ સમજે તેને સહાય છો સદગુરુ રાજ સમજે તેને સહાય છો સદગુરુ રાજ શ્રી સહજાત્મ સ્વરૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ શ્રી સહજાત્મ સ્વરૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ કરુણા રસના કૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ કરુણા રસના કૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ શ્રી શુદ્ધ ચૈતન્ય સ્વામી છો સદગુરુ રાજ શ્રી શુદ્ધ ચૈતન્ય સ્વામી છો સદગુરુ સર્વ પ્રકારે નિષ્કામી છો સદગુરુ રાજ સર્વ પ્રકારે નિષ્કામી છો સદગુરુ રાજ શ્રી સહજાત્મ સ્વરૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ શ્રી સહજાત્મ સ્વરૂપ છો સદગુરુ કરુણા રસના કૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ કરુણા રસના કૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ શ્રી સહજાત્મ સ્વરૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ કરુણા રસના કૂપ છો સદગુરુ રાજ થેન્ક યુ ફોર જોઈનિંગ
Thank you. Thank you, Nikhil. And thank you, everyone, for joining him. And that brings the whole energy in the house as well. Okay, so before moving to the next item, I just want to announce if anyone is interested in donating and giving for JCSC, there's a clipboard that has been rotating around here. Please feel free to write down your name and how much you want to donate. And just donate for your open heart, to your heart content. This is a good cause that you want to donate for. And again, if you have checks, then please, you can hand your checks to Jai Shri Ben or Kalpana ji, anyone. So, the one thing that I could see in all these, that we've been moving to the Shrimad ji's journey, that मैं देहादि स्वरूप नहीं, देह स्त्री पुत्र आदि मेरे नहीं, मैं शुद्ध चेतना हूँ, अविनाशी हूँ, मैं आत्मा हूँ. So just a very clear vision that this is all just go away, and my atma, my soul, that is eternal. So just start behaving like we are a Shuddha Avinashi Chetna, we are an atma, we are a soul. जो next performance है, that is for the अमूल्य तत्व की भक्ति है, जिसमें Praveen Shah and Daksha Shah, they both are very active member of our Bhakti मार्ग में बहुत ही active member हैं हमारे स्वाध्याय ग्रुप के, हमारे दिगंबर जैन ग्रुप के. They are doing Bahu Punya Kera Punjiti, and this is one of the Krupalu Dev's very, very popular poem, and it describes the path. So, are we ready? Yeah? Okay. Okay. अमूल्य तत्व जिसे हम बहु पुण्य केरा पुंजति से भी जानते हैं, कृपालु देव के द्वारा रचित यह अद्भुत कृति उस सत्य को बहुत मार्मिक और बहुत खूबसूरती से प्रस्तुत करती है। तो चलिए प्रवीण भाई अध्यक्ष बहन।
આ સારું પડશે. જય જીનેન્દ્ર. પરમ કૃપાળુ દેવાય નમઃ. પરમ કૃપાળુ દેવ શ્રીમદ રાજચંદ્રજીએ અમૂલ્ય તત્વ વિચાર નામનું આ કાવ્ય ઘણી નાની વયમાં લખ્યું છે. આપણે માટે તે એક ઉત્તમ ભેટ છે. આ પદમાં તેઓએ આત્માનું વિચાર કરવાનું સુંદર રીતે સમજાવ્યું છે. અમૂલ્ય તત્વ વિચાર એટલે જેનું મૂલ્ય ના થઈ શકે એવો અત્યંત મૂલ્યવાન, અત્યંત કિંમતી તત્વ વિચાર છે કે એ વિચાર મનુષ્ય ભવમાં જ થઈ શકે. તો ચાલો આપણે સમજીએ આત્મા સંબંધી અત્યંત હિતકારી તત્વ વિચાર તેઓની સરળ ભાષામાં.
જય જીનેન્દ્ર. બહુ પુણ્ય કેરા પૂંજતી શુભ દેહ માનવ નો મળ્યો તો એ અરે ભવચક્રનો આટો નહીં એ કેટડ્યો. સુખ પ્રાપ્ત કરતા સુખ ટળે છે, લેશ એ લક્ષે લહો. ક્ષણ ક્ષણ ભયંકર ભાવ મરણે કા અહો રાચી રહો.
થોડું થોડું પુણ્ય સંચય કરતાં કરતાં જ્યારે ઘણું પુણ્ય એકઠું થાય ત્યારે મહામૂલ્યમાન મનુષ્ય દેહ મળે છે. માનવ દેહ થકી જ મોક્ષ સાધી શકાય છે. તેથી માનવ દેહના આ વરદાન માટે પ્રભુનો જેટલો ઉપકાર માનીએ તેટલો ઓછો છે. સંસારના સુખ ભોગવતા પુણ્ય પાણીના રેલાની માફક ઘટતું જાય છે. સંસારિક સુખ શાશ્વત નહીં હોવાથી કાળે કરી સુખ ચાલ્યા જાય પછી દુઃખ જ ભોગવવાના રહે છે. શ્રી કૃપાળુદેવ ખેદ વ્યક્ત કરતા કહે છે કે ચાર ગતિમાં ફરવારૂપ ભવચક્રનો આંટો એક પણ ઘટે નહીં એવો પુરુષાર્થ આપણે કેમ નથી કરતા. ક્ષણિક સુખ ભોગવતા આત્મા અનંત સુખ પ્રાપ્ત કરવાનું રહી જાય છે તો પોતાનું આત્મા સ્વરૂપ ભૂલે છે. તન ધન સ્વજન આદિ પરમાં જ અહમ મહત્વ બુદ્ધિથી પરભાવોમાં જ નિમગ્ન રહે છે. પરમ કૃપાળુદેવ આપણને ચેતવે છે કે તેનો જરા તો વિચાર કરો. ક્ષણે ક્ષણે કર્મ બંધાય છે, જન્મ મરણ ઊભા થાય છે. તેથી કહે છે કે એવા ભાવ મરણથી રાજી થવા જેવું શું છે. હવે બીજી કડીમાં
લક્ષ્મી અને અધિકાર વધતા શું વધ્યું તે તો કહો. શું કુટુંબ કે પરિવારથી બધવાપણું એ ન અને હારી જવો, એનો વિચાર નહીં હો, એક પળ તમને હવો.
લક્ષ્મી અને અધિકારથી કર્મ વધે છે અને સંસાર વધે છે. આત્માને હિતકારી એવું કાંઈ વધતું નથી. પરિભ્રમણની નિવૃત્તિનો અવસર ચૂકી જતા આપણે મનુષ્ય ભાવને હારી જઈએ છીએ. એવું નથી. શ્રી કૃપાળુ દેવ રંજ વ્યક્ત કરે છે કે આપણને એક પળ પણ એવો વિચાર કેમ નથી થતો કે આત્મ સ્વરૂપનું સુખ જ સત્ય છે, તે જ નિરંતર છે. આત્માનું હિત થાય તે જ ખરી મહત્તા છે. તે વડે જ ધન્યતા અનુભવાય છે. આત્મ પર વસ્તુ ત્યાગવા યોગ્ય છે. એ સિદ્ધાંત રૂપે આ કડીમાં એમણે સરસ સમજાવી દીધું. હવે
નિર્દોષ સુખ નિર્દોષ આનંદ લ્યો ગમે ત્યાંથી ભલે, એ દિવ્ય શક્તિ માન જેથી જંજીરેથી નીકળે, પર વસ્તુમાં નહીં મૂજવો, એની દયા મુજને રહી, એ ત્યાગવા સિદ્ધાંત કે પશ્ચાત તે સુખ નહીં.
શાસ્ત્ર વાંચન, શ્રવણ, સત્સંગ, ભક્તિ વગેરે ગમે તે સાધનો દ્વારા આપણે નિર્દોષ સુખ અને નિર્દોષ આનંદ મેળવવાનું, પણ તેનાથી આત્મા નિર્મળ થાય છે. આત્મામાં જે સુખ છે, જે આનંદ છે, તે નિર્દોષ આનંદ છે. તે માટે આત્મજ્ઞાન પ્રગટાવવું પડશે, જેથી આત્મા કર્મના બંધનોમાંથી મુક્ત થાય. અહીં એવું સમજાવે છે આ કડીમાં કે જે સુખ પાછળથી દુઃખ જ આપે છે, તો તેને સુખ કેમ કહીએ? પર વસ્તુમાં સુખની માન્યતાનું કારણ અજ્ઞાન છે. પર વસ્તુ ઇન્દ્રિય આધીન હોવાથી પરવશ છે, જ્યારે ખરું સુખ તો આત્માને આધીન એટલે કે નિજ વશ છે. માટે આત્મા તરફ બુદ્ધિ વાળશો તો પરિભ્રમણની દશા ટાળશો અને મુક્તિ પામશો.
હું કોણ છું, ક્યાંથી થયું, શું સ્વરૂપ છે મારું ખરું, કોના સંબંધે વણગણા છે, રાખું કે પર હરું, એના વિચાર વિવેકપૂર્વ શાંત ભાવે જો કર્યા, તો સર્વ આત્મિક જ્ઞાનના સિદ્ધાંત તત્વ અનુભવ્યા.
આગળની કડીમાં શું છોડવું એની વાત સમજાવી. હવે આપણે શું ગ્રહણ કરવું એની વાત આ કડીમાં કહે છે. હું કોણ છું, ક્યાંથી થયો, શું સ્વરૂપ છે મારું, એ તત્વ પર વિચાર કરવાનું સૂચવે છે. સદવિચાર વિના આત્મજ્ઞાન થાય નહીં. સર્વ ક્લેશથી અને સર્વ દુઃખથી મુક્ત થવાનો ઉપાય આત્મજ્ઞાન છે. હું દેહ છું એવી ખોટી માન્યતામાંથી આત્માને વાળી લેવાય, એટલે કહે છે કે દેહ ભ્રાંતિમાંથી આત્માને તારી લો. કરતા ભોગતાપણાના હિસાબે કર્મ વળગણા થાય છે. વિભાવને લઈને કર્મ વળગણા વળગે છે. તેથી કહે છે, વિચાર કર માનવ કે આ વળગણા રાખવી છે કે પરહરવી છે કે છોડવી છે. જો શાંત ભાવે વિચારપૂર્વક આના ઉપર ચિંતન કરશો તો સર્વ આત્મિક જ્ઞાનના સિદ્ધાંત તત્વ અનુભવશો. હું આત્મા છું, હું નિત્ય છું, મોક્ષ સ્વરૂપ છું, અનંત દર્શન શુદ્ધ બુદ્ધ ચૈતન્ય ઘન સ્વયં જ્યોતિ સુખધામ છું એ વાત શ્રદ્ધામાં આવશે અને મોક્ષપદની પ્રાપ્તિ થતાં દુર્લભ માનવભાવની સફળતા થશે.
તે પ્રાપ્ત કરવા વચન કોનું સત્ય કેવળ માનવું નિર્દોષ નરનું કતન માનું તે જેણે અનુભવ્યું રે આત્મતારો શીઘ્ર એને ઓળખો સર્વાત્મમાં સમદ્રષ્ટિ દોવા વચનને હૃદયે લખો રે આત્મતારો શીઘ્ર એને ઓળખો સર્વત્વમાં સમદ્રષ્ટિ દો આ વચનને હૃદયે લખો આ વચનને હૃદયે લખો.
આ પરમ સત્ય જેણે અનુભવ્યું છે, જેને આત્મતત્વનો સાક્ષાત અનુભવ થયો છે, એવા પ્રત્યક્ષ જ્ઞાની પુરુષનું વચન સત્ય માનો, સાચું માનો. સદ્ગુરુની સહાય લઈને આત્માને શીઘ્ર ઓળખવાનું સૂચવે છે. સત્પુરુષનો યોગ થવો એ પુણ્યને આધીન છે. સર્વ જીવ છે મોક્ષ સિદ્ધ સમ એવા ભાવ અંતરમાં ગ્રહણ કરો. એવા ભાવ સાથે સર્વ આત્મામાં સમદ્રષ્ટિ કેળવો તો એ સિદ્ધાંત તત્વ પામવાનું પહેલું પગથિયું આપણે ચડી રહ્યા છીએ. રે આત્મતારો એ વાત ભૂલશો નહીં. કોઈની પણ સાથે રાગ દ્વેષ કરવો નહીં. એ વચનને હૃદયમાંથી ભૂલશો નહીં એવો એમનો આગ્રહ આપણે સૌએ આજે સંકલ્પમાં લાવવો છે. તો સમજવું કે જો આપણે રાગ દ્વેષ છોડીને બધા સાથે હૃદયમાં હેતથી રહીશું તો સમજવું કે આપણે 155મી જન્મ જયંતિનું સેલિબ્રેશન ખરેખર ભેગા મળીને કરી રહ્યા છીએ. પરમ કૃપાળુ દેવની આવી ગહન વાતોને સમજીએ અને એમના પર ચિંતન કરીએ. એ ભાવથી પ્રેરિત થઈ આ પદ ગાવાનું અને સમજાવવાનું યથાશક્તિ પ્રયત્ન કર્યો છે. ભૂલચૂકની ક્ષમા માગું છું. જય જિનેન્દ્ર. ખૂબ શાંતિથી સાંભળવા બદલ ખૂબ આભાર.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रवीण भाई, दक्षा बहन. इट वॉज रियली भावपूर्ण. सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगा और इतने अच्छे भाव आए आपके साथ गा कर के. Now, as we celebrate 155th birth anniversary of Param Krupalu Dev, Mumukshus of LA Raj Parivar express their joy, love, and devotion towards the Param Krupalu Dev with exuberance in the form of Nritya Bhakti Dandiya Ras. In this dance, devotees are celebrating in an auspicious birth events of Param Krupalu Dev, welcoming him with exhilaration and coloring and venerating his virtues, glorifying his existence as embodiment of divinity, and saluting the great spiritual master with intense gratitude and reverence with. So, let us enjoy and participate in the dance with a lot of bhav.
के आज धरती पर चांदो उतरियो तुझो, के राज भक्तों ने आज प्रभु मलिया तुझो। परम कृपालु देव आव्या तुझो, परम कृपालु देव आव्या।
कृपालु देव आव्या तुझो, परम कृपालु देव आव्या।
देवा माना लाले आनी जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या। देवा माना लाले आनी जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या। सत्य सनातन मार्ग मोक्षनो करवा जग उद्धार। तत्वज्ञानी जन्म्या कडी काळे, शासन ना शणगार।
भव जड़ तरवाने आव्यो जहाज, लऊ वारणा मारा सद्गुरु राज।
परम कृपाळु देव आव्या तुझो, परम कृपाळु देव आव्या। देवा माना लाले आनी जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या। देवा माना लाले आनी जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या। अंतर्मग्न दशा मनोहारी, शांत मूर्ति वैरागी। पूर्ण चंद्र समराज चंद्र प्रभु, प्रगट्या सभी सुखकारी।
आज मोती ना मेघ जाने बरस्या तुझो, सहजात्म स्वरूप लय लागे तुझो। परम कृपालु देव आव्या तुझो, परम कृपालु देव आव्या।
देवा माना लाले आनी जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या। देवा माना लाले आनी जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या। परम कृपाळु देव आव्या तुझो, परम कृपाळु देव आव्या। देवा माना लाले आनी जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या। पालु जी भाई ना जाया, झूमो नाचो गाओ आज तारण हार आव्या।
Jai Jinendra. Let's give the group another round of applause. This performance was performed by Ashok Shalva, Harshna Saula, Dilip Parekh, Shushma Parekh, Jitin Kothari, Rupal Kothar, Kinal Modi, Mona Modi, Avni Shah, Sunila Shah, Rajshri Badani, Neeta Shah, Kamini Shah, and Pramod Shah. If I forgot someone, Michami Dukram. But thank you again. It was so nice to see how we are all able to express our devotion and veneration to Param Krupalu Dev through different formats. We've had people do Bhakti, we had a beautiful dance, and this all comes with the support of us being part of this big group called Jain Center of Southern California. And so let's give a round of applause to that. And so it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce our vice president. This program today really would not be, it's a group effort, as we all know. It takes a village to bring a program like this together with so much support and love and devotion. We can see that here in this audience. And so, but really it also comes from the support of the Jain Center of Southern California leadership. And so I know our president is not here today, but in his place, our venerable and honorable Vice President Samir Shah is here. So I'd like to introduce him. Samir has been part of the Jain Center and in Southern California for over 30 years, and he has been a very, very active volunteer. I probably can't even finish, he probably has pages of resumes of how much volunteer work he does for the Jain Center. And so I'd like to bring him up here for a few minutes to say a few words. But before I do that, I did want to make one announcement about if anyone is interested in taking the Aarti or Mangal Devo at the end of the program, please come and find me up here in the front. So Samir.
Jai Prabhu, Jai Jinendra. First of all, I wanted to welcome everyone. And on behalf of Jain Center of Southern California Executive Committee, Board of Directors, and entire community, I wanted to welcome you all and thank you. I got here a little early and Jai Shri Auntie came to me and said, thank you for doing this, allowing us to use the cultural hall, not the Aradhana hall. So I wanted to tell everyone that for many reasons, you guys shouldn't thank me or Jain Center leadership, because first of all, this is the Janm Jayanti of an outstanding individual who is supposed to be, the best thing that happened after Mahavir Swami in our life. So, and not too long ago, only a few years ago, 100 years ago, he was here. And secondly, he is the Gurudev of my Gurudev. So it's always a pleasure to have such event here at the Jain Center. We will do everything possible to facilitate and help. Lastly, this Jain Center, such a huge and beautiful facility, is built to have such events. So please never say thank you. It's our pleasure and honor to facilitate such events. Lastly, I wanted to say that this event is a self-supported event. So please open your hearts and wallet. And please support it as much as you can. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Samir. Now, We are moving to next part of our journey, spiritual journey. Again, we have a Bhakti. Bhakti Mool Marg Sambhalo Jinure. This Bhakti is performed by Shefali Parekh, Vivek Naik, and Darshan Shah. This is written by the Bhakti that they are doing is written by Shrimad Rajchandraji, which explains the path to become Bhagwan by getting Ratan Traya. So as we say, Samyak Darshan Jnana Charitrani Moksha Marga. So these are the 3 jewels that we need to follow in order to get the Moksha Marg. And the first line says only that it's the way shown by Bhagwan to be a Bhagwan. So give a big round of applause for Shefali, Vivek, and Darshan Shah.
મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે કરી વૃત્તિ અખંડ સન્મુખ રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે નોય પૂજા દીની જો કામના રે નોય પૂજા દીની જો કામના રે નોય વાલો અંતર ભવ દુઃખ રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે કરી જોજો વચનની તુલના રે કરી જોજો વચનની તુલના રે જોજો શોધીને જીન સિદ્ધાંત રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે માત્ર કહેવું પરમાર્થ હેતુથી રે માત્ર કહેવું પરમાર્થ હેતુથી રે કોઈ પામે મોક્ષો વાત રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે જ્ઞાન દર્શન ચારિત્રની શુદ્ધતા રે જ્ઞાન દર્શન ચારિત્રની શુદ્ધતા રે એકપણે અને અવિરુદ્ધ રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે જીન માર્ગ તે પરમાર્થથી રે જીન માર્ગ તે પરમાર્થથી રે એમ કહ્યું સિદ્ધાંતે બુદ્ધ રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે લિંગ અને ભેદો જે વ્રતના રે લિંગ અને ભેદો જે વ્રતના રે દ્રવ્ય દેશ કાળાદિ ભેદ રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે પણ જ્ઞાનાદિની જે શુદ્ધતા રે પણ જ્ઞાનાદિની જે શુદ્ધતા રે તે તો ત્રણે કાળે અભેદ રે મૂળ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે. હવે જ્ઞાન દર્શનાદી શબ્દનો રે, હવે જ્ઞાન દર્શનાદી શબ્દનો રે, સંક્ષેપે સુણો પરમાર્થ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, તેને જોતા વિચારી વિશેષથી રે, તેને જોતા વિચારી વિશેષથી રે, સમજાશે ઉત્તમ આત્માર્થ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે. છે દેહાદિથી ભિન્ન આત્મા રે, છે દેહાદિથી ભિન્ન આત્મા રે, ઉપયોગી સદા વિનાશ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, એમ જાણે સદગુરુ ઉપદેશથી રે, એમ જાણે સદગુરુ ઉપદેશથી રે, કહ્યું જ્ઞાન તેનું નામ ખાસ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે. જે જ્ઞાને કરીને જાણ્યું રે, જે જ્ઞાને કરીને જાણ્યું રે, તેની વર્તે છે શુદ્ધ પ્રતીત રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, કહ્યું ભગવંતે દર્શન દેહને રે, કહ્યું ભગવંતે દર્શન દેહને રે, જેનું બીજું નામ સમકીત રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે. જેમ આવી પ્રતીતિ જીવની રે, જેમ આવી પ્રતીતિ જીવની રે, જાણ્યો સર્વેથી વિનય સંગ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, તેવો સ્થિર સ્વભાવ તે ઉપજે રે, તેવો સ્થિર સ્વભાવ તે ઉપજે રે, નામ ચારિત્ર તે અણલિંગ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે. તે ત્રણેય અભેદ પરિણામથી રે, તે ત્રણેય અભેદ પરિણામથી રે, જ્યારે વર્તે તે આત્મા રૂપ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, દેહ માર્ગ જીનનો પામવો રે, દેહ માર્ગ જીનનો પામવો રે, કેવા પામ્યો તે નિજ સ્વરૂપ રે, મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે, મૂળ સાંભળો જીનનો રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે એમાં દેવ જીણંદે ભાખીઓ રે એમાં દેવ જીણંદે ભાખીઓ રે મોક્ષ માર્ગનો શુદ્ધ સ્વરૂપ રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો રે ભવ્યજનો નાહિતને કારણે રે ભવ્યજનો નાહિતને કારણે રે સંક્ષેપે કહ્યું સ્વરૂપ રે મૂળ માર્ગ સાંભળો જીનનો 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 રે જય જિનેન્દ્ર
मूल मार्ग संभालो जिन्होंने रे. What a beautiful, and I love that हम कितने सब भक्ति में सब साथ में थिरकने लगे. That is so beautiful. और ऐसे ही भक्ति में लग करके लग्न होकर के हम अपने मोक्ष की प्राप्ति कर सकते हैं, उस बात पे चल सकते हैं. अभी जो नेक्स्ट वो परफॉर्मेंस है वो भी बहुत भक्ति मार्ग में ही है और एक नृत्य प्रस्तुति है, भरतनाट्यम प्रस्तुति. कृपालु देव जैसी शरण कोई नहीं है. उन्होंने जो मार्ग दिखाया है, जो वचनामृत दिए हैं, आत्मसिद्धि जैसा शास्त्र दिया है, उनकी इस कृपा को हम आज भी याद करते हैं. उन्हीं के चरणों में, उन्हीं की शरण में, उन्हीं की रचनाओं को याद करते हुए समर्पित है यह भक्ति नृत्य प्रज्ञा जैन के द्वारा. प्रज्ञा भरतनाट्यम, कथक, बहुत सारे नृत्यों में शी इज़ वेरी एक्सपर्ट. शी हैज़ लर्नड अ लॉट. And not only that, Pragya is very, just like her mom, her parents, she's also on the path of doing sadhyay, and she's also moving as a Jain mumukshu. So over to Pragya.
હે પરમ કૃપાળુ દેવ, તારું અવલંબન પામ્યા પછી કશું જ અશક્ય નથી. તારા શરણથી મોટું કોઈ સત્ય નથી. તારા સ્મરણથી મોટી કોઈ સંપત્તિ નથી. તારા શુદ્ધ જીવનમાંથી બળ મેળવી ઓળંગીશ મારા વિકારોની સીમાને. હે પ્રભુ, મને શ્રદ્ધા છે તારું વચન મને પહોંચાડશે તારા ધામમાં.
રાજ તારું શરણ, રાજ તારું શરણ, ભવ્ય જીવોને ભગવન બનાવે. રાજ તારું શરણ, ભવ્ય જીવોને ભગવન બનાવે.
નિષ્કારણ કરુણા, પ્રેમની અવિરત ધારા, અનન્ય શરણ ન દાતા, અહો ઉપકાર અનંતા, આપના ઉપકાર અનંતા, પ્રતિ ઉપકાર વાળી શકાય ના શું ધરું. तब चरण कमल मां मन वालू, करी आपनी सेवना. स्थिर क्याय थाए ना आत्मा आपो आपनी परम भक्ति वचनोनी उपासना आज्ञा नाबे अक्षर मारी आप्यो मोक्ष मार्ग आपना पगले चालीने जीवन करो कृतार्थ आप जहु सद्गुरु सत सुख नु सरनामो आपने ज पल पल छो हे गुरुदेव मुद्रा वचनामृत समागम मनिया मनि थया भवो भव सफल अध्यात्मना आप शुभंकर त्रिणे लोक मावर्तो जयवन मुद्रा वचनामृत समागम मनिया मनि थया भवो भव सफल अध्यात्मना आप शुभंकर त्रिणे लोक मावर्तो जयवन
आत्मा है वह नित्य है करता निज कर है भोक्ता और मोक्ष है मोक्ष उपाय सुधर छूटे देहाध्यास तो नहीं करता तू कर नहीं भोगता तू उनका यही धर्म का मन इसी धर्म से मोक्ष है तू है मोक्ष स्वरूप अनंत दर्शन ज्ञान तू अव्याबाध स्वरूप शुद्ध बुद्ध चैतन्य घन स्वयं ज्योति सुख धाम दूजा कहे अब और क्या कर विचार तो
अहो अहो श्री सद्गुरु करुणा सिंधु इस पामर पर प्रभु किया अहो अहो उपकार
देह के संग जिनकी दशा वरते देहाती उन ज्ञानी के चरणों में हो वंदन गणी उन ज्ञानी के चरणों में हो वंदन गणी हो वंदन गणी
Thank you, Pragya, for a wonderful, wonderful presentation to all the different beautiful words of Param Krupalu Dev. And so now we are going to switch gears a little bit. We've been doing Bhaktis, we've been doing, we learned about Param Krupalu's Jeevan Charitra and some of his very important patrangs. And now, you know, we talked about us being a Jain Center of Southern California, and one of the biggest activities our Jain Center has done in the last several years, as many of you know, is the creation of the endowed chairs at the various local universities and colleges. And today, we are very honored to have one of our endowed chairs with us as our guest of honor. And so I would like to bring up Shushma Parekh to introduce our guest of honor. All of you all know Shushma Parekh. She is a very active member of the Jain Center for the last 30 years. She has done various activities, and she's been teaching Patsara to the JCYC for over 20 years. She's also an adjunct professor at Claremont College of Theology that offers a graduate program in Jain studies. She's also a member of the Jaina Academic Liaison Committee promoting Jain studies at academic institutions in North America. So this is a very important mission about increasing the knowledge about Jainism outside of India, outside of our small community. And these are the efforts led by people like Shushma Parekh. Shushma received her master's from Loyola Marymount and has been working in the aerospace industry for over 40 years, supporting various management and executive roles. And she currently works at Moog as a principal engineer responsible for research and development of innovative motion control technologies used in commercial and military aircrafts. So I don't know how she gets the time to do all that she does in her busy job and how active she is in the Jain Center, how active she is in Raj Parivar, as well as in teaching. So I'd like to bring up Shushma Parekh to introduce our guest of honor.
Thank you so much for kind introduction. Thank you, Anna ji, being here. So it's my pleasure to introduce you. Anna Baisal ji is Associate Professor of Religious Studies and Shrimad Rajchandra Endowed Chair in Jain Studies at the University of California, Riverside. She was previously a research fellow at the University of Rajasthan and the Polanski Academy, Van Leer Jerusalem Institute, and she taught at the University of Ljubljana and the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Her research focuses on Jain philosophy, particularly metaphysics, ethics, and philosophy of mind. She is the author of The Nature of Change in Jain Philosophy. It's published at the Ljubljana University Press, 2016 in Slovenia, and the co-author of Insistent Life, Principle of Bioethics in the Jain Tradition, UC Press 2021. She's currently working on a monograph study of the Tattvartha Sutra and its commentaries. So we welcome Anna ji for your next program. Thank you.
Jai Jinendra. It is a real delight and honor to be here, and I'm so glad to be here after this long break of the pandemic. We used to come here quite often, quite regularly, and I'm very happy to be reconnecting with so many of you today. So I want to thank Dr. Kirit Gosalia, Jai Shri Parekh, and Kalpana Shah for kindly inviting me to attend this auspicious occasion of Shrimad Rajchandraji's birth anniversary at this center. So my name, as Sushma ji so kindly already introduced me, is Anna Baisal, and I'm Associate Professor in the Department of Religious Studies, thank you, at the University of California, Riverside. I also hold a Jain Studies chair there, which is named after Shrimad ji, so I'm particularly honored to be here today. Of course, the Jain Studies chair would not be there at all without the Jain community without the generous donations of the members of the Jain community who have a vision of putting Jainism on the world map and supporting the academic study of Jainism. As you know, Jainism until very recently, Jain studies was a very small, very niche academic field with very few job prospects, lagging numerous decades, if not several hundred years behind such fields as Buddhist studies, let alone the study of Judaism and Christianity. So what I want to do in this short speech today is offer you an insight into the kind of work in Jain studies we have been doing at UC Riverside and beyond with the help of the Jain Chair Funds. I joined UC Riverside in 2018, so I have been here in Southern California for just over 4 years now. And the Shrimad Rajchandra Chair was officially inaugurated on October 23rd, 2019. You can see a nice picture of the donors with the dean who was then dean. And I think there's another one of everyone who was present. This was still before the pandemic, so we were able to organize such a wonderful event, in-person celebration on our campus. And since I first joined UC Riverside, the proceeds of the Jain Studies Chair have been used for my research activities, the organization of events, participation in various international events, as well as support of undergraduate and graduate student engagement in Jain studies. During my time here, I have been engaged in several different research projects. There's too many to cover, so I will just highlight some of the main ones. As Sushma-ji mentioned, I primarily work in Jain philosophy, so I study ancient and medieval Jain texts in Sanskrit and Prakrits. I've done quite a lot of work primarily on the Digambara tradition, but I also study Shvetambara texts, particularly when it comes to the commentarial tradition. I'm interested in the differences between the various interpretations. I'm interested mainly in how Jain philosophers understood the nature of life, the nature of the world, and Jain ethics, as well as how they interacted, influenced one another, and how they interacted also with non-Jain traditions throughout the ancient and medieval Indian history. Last year, my colleague, Dr. Brian Donaldson, who holds a Jain Studies Chair at UC Irvine, and I co-published a book on Jain bioethics with the prestigious publisher University of California Press. The book was published open access, so it can be downloaded by anyone for free. And I just checked this morning, it's been downloaded nearly 600 times. So publishing open access can really enable the spread of such books much more. I have provided a link here, and if you want to access the books, please write to me. I'll be glad to share the link. In the past academic years, I started working on a new book project on Jain philosophy, which is based mainly on the Tattvartha Sutra, but looking at it through the commentarial tradition, both the Shvetambara and Digambara commentaries. And tangentially related to this project is the Digital Humanities Project. I think I have this on the next slide. On upgrading digital access to Jain texts that Dr. Royce Wiles from the University of Christchurch in New Zealand and I have been developing. So we're envisioning many stages, and this is really a lifelong project of providing first, a comprehensive digital presentation of the Tattvartha Sutra, its major commentaries all up to the present day, and related scholarship. And we're envisioning many more things that could happen within the field of digital humanities in relation to Jain studies. It's something that's just starting to develop in Jain studies, and the other fields are also far ahead of us. I have also been collaborating with Dr. Christy Wiley, Dr. Christoph Emrich, and Dr. Stephen Vos to produce a new edition of the Historical Dictionary of Jainism, a very popular dictionary of Jainism that's been used worldwide by undergraduate and graduate students. And there are many other smaller projects that I'm involved in, but in the interest of time, I want to move on to event participation and organization. So I very much believe that we will be able to develop Jain studies as a strong field, vibrant field, only through collaboration and establishing strong networks internationally, both among scholars as well as between scholars and the Jain community. So much work needs to be done, and none of us can do it alone. Since I joined UC Riverside, I've given around 25 different talks all around the world. This was all sponsored by the Jain Chair Fund, so I'm very grateful to have those funds available to talk about Jainism globally. And most recently, I co-organized with two of my colleagues from Europe, Dr. Marie-Hélène Goris and Dr. Tine Wekemans, 3 Jain Studies panels at the annual conference of the European Study of Religion in Ireland. Jain studies was probably one of the most represented religious traditions there at this conference, so we're very happy with how it turned out. I have also been co-organizing with Dr. Lina Dhanani from UC Davis, who holds a Jain chair there, an ongoing virtual event series that features emerging scholars in Jain studies. And we've had talks so this is showcasing junior scholars, allowing the Jain community and the rest of the Jain studies field to learn about the new emerging scholars in our field. And we've had incredible talks on topics ranging from archaeology of Jain sites in Tamil Nadu to Jain diaspora communities in East Africa, to Jain manuscripts, possible repatriation of manuscripts, Jain manuscripts to the Jain communities, Jain Puranas, Jain narratives, the history of the Bhattarakas, Yatis, and we are going to hold another talk in February on Jain Ramayanas. So many exciting junior scholars coming out who will be applying to these new positions that are opening all across the US and Europe now. Since 2018, I've also been inviting senior scholars in Jain studies to deliver talks at UC Riverside as part of the annual Shrimad Rajchandra lecture series. So these are our most prestigious events. And so far we've hosted Dr. John Court from Denison University. He delivered a talk actually in relation to the Jain temple here in Southern California, this temple. Dr. Eva de Klerk from Ghent University, who talked about the Jain Mahabharatas, and Dr. Julia Hegewald, who talked about Jain temples in Karnataka. This coming December, on December 2nd at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, Dr. Ha-Won Koo from the Seoul National University in Korea will deliver a virtual talk on patas, so cloth paintings of Shatrunjaya, in case any of you are interested in attending the talk. We always have quite a lot of attendance, usually 50 to 70 people in the audience, and many Jain community members join. In 2020, I also organized the Jain Academic Convention. This was the first one. It was entitled Jain Studies in North America and Community Sponsorship, Present and Future. And it was intended to bring together scholars who are holding positions that have been funded by the Jain community, as well as Jain community members, and brainstorm together how to continue developing Jain studies. So our research experiences, various possible translation projects, collaborations, research projects, and future plans. That same year, I also organized the first Jain Studies Symposium. This one was on illness, medicine, and healing in the Jain tradition. We had many different talks ranging from the history of medicine in Jainism up to the present, views on medicine and healing in the Jain tradition. The keynote lecture was delivered by Dr. Dagmar Vujastik from the University of Alberta in Canada, and she gave a talk on a very rarely studied, scarcely studied 9th century Jain text on alchemy and medicine. Lastly, but most importantly, I want to note the ways in which the Jain Studies Chair has benefited the development of teaching of Jainism at UC Riverside. I've been developing specifically Jain Studies courses at the undergraduate and graduate levels, as well as incorporating Jain Studies content into my other courses, including my largest undergraduate classes, which include over 200 students each year. So we've been reaching hundreds of students and teaching them about Jainism, about the uniqueness of this tradition, about the teachings of nonviolence, and so on. And actually, before the pandemic, I brought my students to visit the Jain Center of Southern California every year. And Dr. Nitin Shah and Sushma Parekh were always so kind to deliver, to show them around and so on. And even during the pandemic, they actually were so kind to give us virtual tours of the center. And we are now planning an in-person visit in February. Finally, we're able to visit in person again. In order to promote the undergraduate study of Jainism, I also established the Shrimad Rajchandra Undergraduate Essay Prize. This is a prize that's annually given to the best undergraduate's essay on Jainism. And the development of Jain studies at UC Riverside was importantly enhanced with the Wadhar Family Foundation's generous decision to establish fellowships for graduate students at UC Riverside who focus on Jain studies. And I'm very I'm very grateful to the Wadhar Family Foundation for this generous donation. We currently have 2 graduate students who are focusing on Jain studies who will receive the fellowship in year 4 and onwards of their studies. And our plans for the future are primarily, at the moment, developing a very robust language program. For anyone who studies Jainism, you can only scratch the surface if you don't know Indic languages. That is learning modern Indic languages as well as the classical ones, Sanskrit and Prakrit. So with this, we hope to attract many more excellent undergraduate and graduate students in the future. So I'm also very grateful to the Modi family, to the Parekh family, to the Cheda family, all for donating to this chair, and of course to the Wadhar Family Foundation, as well as to the many other members of the Jain community in the US who've been so supportive and encouraging, such as Dr. Nitin Shah, Dr. Narendra Parson, Dr. Kirit Gosalia, and I'm always so grateful when we're in conversation and brainstorming our visions for the future of Jain studies together. So with this, I just wanted to offer you a short glimpse into the kind of academic work that has been made possible with the support of the Jain studies community and the Shrimad Rajchandra Chair in Jain studies. Myself and other Jain studies scholars who I'm in regular contact with are inspired and grateful, and we very much look forward to working together with the Jain community members from all around the world to develop Jain studies here in the US and globally. Thank you very much for your attention.
Anna, could we have you come back up to the stage? We would just like to honor and present to you with a small token of appreciation for all your amazing work. I mean, I was sitting there listening and just so inspired by what you are doing and what all the future studies and plans. So our host here would like to present you with a small token of appreciation.
Thank you so much. Always such a kind welcome here.
Jai Jinendra. Jai Jinendra.
We'll have you come up here. Better picture taking opportunities. It's just wonderful to hear how we are able to bridge what we do here in our community then with our academic institutions. And as we are part of this community, you know, our friends, our neighbors, our kids, our nieces, nephews will be going to schools. And it's so inspiring to know that Jain studies are going to be part of their curriculum due to the efforts and work of several of these professors like Dr. Anna Baijal. So now we're going to do a little game or trivia. So you guys have been listening to different bhaktis. We learned about Krupalu Dev Jeevan Charitra. We learned about some of the books he wrote, some of the poems he wrote. So now we're going to see what you retained. So it's quiz time. So I would like to ask for 10 volunteers to come up front to participate. And we're also going to give you the quizzes by paper, but we're going to do it in a form of Kahoot. And so we'd like to have 10 volunteers. Anyone take any takers? We have a prize, so you get a prize. Okay, we got some takers right here. Come on up in the front, and if you could pull up Kahoot IT, and I'm going to have our AV people in the back pull up the game. Any other takers? Any aunties? Okay, Shushma auntie, Shobna auntie, Seema. Anna, would you like to come and join? These are good questions. We learned most of the answers we have been presented in our program today. So it just depends if you are paying attention. All right, so what we need to do is, as they load up the Kahoot game, if you could pull out your phones, and if you have the Kahoot app, pull that up, or you can do it on kahoot.it, and we're going to get you the game PIN number. Okay. And the questions, the audience, don't give the group up here the answers yet. So we're loading up the game. Okay. And we're going to do the classic mode. We're going to have you guys join. So in your phone, if you can put that game ID number, and in the audience, you're welcome to join too, but I wrote out the questions for you to do by paper too. And so the way the game works is it's not just knowing the right answer, it's actually you get scored on how fast you answer as well. And the computer program will decide that, so that's good. None of us have to be judges in any of this today. All right. So we have our group here. All right, I think we have our 10 people. Okay, everyone can sit up in the front. Are we ready? Are you guys all ready to play? Okay, we'll give it another minute. And we're limited to 10 up here because of just the way the platform works. So that's why I wanted to share everything with the group as well. And otherwise, you guys can play in pairs or partners too. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's start. Okay, Kahoot, we go. First question. Here we go. What year was Sri Atmasiddhi Shastra written in? Answer 1896, answer 1864, answer 1851, answer 1870. And you'll have 30 seconds to answer, and then we'll give the correct answer. All right, so answer is 1896. So we have a mixed group of people who answered different answers, and we'll see who answered quickly on the first. All right, Biren is in lead. All right, okay, question number 2. This should be good. What date was Param Krupalu Dev born on? November 13th, 1867, November 12th, 1867, November 9th, 1867, November 10th, 1867. This one should be good because that's what we're all here for today. All right, so November 9th, 1867. Biren's still in the lead. He has quick fingers, you guys. Okay, question number 3. For whom did Param Krupalu Dev compose Cha Padno Patra, the 6 fundamentals of truth? A. Sobagbai, B. Ambalabai, C. Jutubai, D. Laluji Muni. Okay. You can scream your answer. All right, Laluji Muni. Oh, Biren's not in the lead anymore. Uh-oh. All right, and Ash is coming up. All right. Question number 4. Mokshmara was composed by Param Krupalu Dev in how many days? 30 days, 13 days, 6 days, or 3 days? I think, yeah, this group is really good. They've been paying attention to the program. All right, I think we're in the same rankings. All right, question number 5. Param Krupalu Dev performed first Odhan in what city? Vavanya, Morbi, Mumbai, or Uttarsand? Morbi. Morbi is the answer. Okay. Question number 6. How many chapters are there in Mokshmara? 20 chapters, 50, 108, or 100? This group is doing really well. They've been paying attention to the program and have been well studying. Nikhil is still staying in the lead, but Biren's catching up. All right, at what age did Shrimad Rajchandraji attain Sud Samyak Darshan or self-realization? Age 24, 23, 30, or 29? Oh, positions are changing. All right, question number 8. What was Param Krupalu Dev's purpose of composing Cha Padno Patra? For Samyak Darshan, for Vedyan, for Samadhi Maran, or for Diksha? For Samadhi Maran. I think so, yeah. Okay, positions haven't changed. Question number 9. We have 3 more questions. At what age and at what event did Param Krupalu Dev attain Jati Smaragnan? At age 8, 7, 8, or 7, and you can see the different options while meditating under a tree, returning from school, when Amit Chand Bai was bit by a snake, or while witnessing a dead body burning on a pyre. All right. Oh, catching up. All right, question number 10. Who was standing with the lantern while Param Krupalu Dev was composing Sri Atma Siddhi Shastra? Jutubai, Sobagbai, Laluji Muni, or Ambalabai? All right. It's going super fast. Sorry about that. Which fundamental truth is not one of the 6 fundamental truths? Soul is eternal and permanent. Soul does its own actions and is in the enjoyer sufferer of its own actions. Liberation exists and a way to liberation exits. Soul does not do its own actions and is not the enjoyer or sufferer of its own actions. This one you got to read very carefully. All right. This group is great. Everyone's getting the answers right. Okay. Last question. Name of the book composed by Param Krupalu Dev at age 16 and 5 months. Vachnamrut, Atmasiddhi Shastra, Mokshmara, or Cha Padno Patra. All right, so let's see. Number 3, Hina. Number 2, Nikhil. Number 1. Biren. All right. We will have a prize for all of you, so I'll bring it to you after. Great job, you guys. Just something for fun, just to break up the program a little. So everyone is very well versed in Param Krupalu Dev, about his life, his writings, his influence. We heard about how, now in the academic side of things, people are doing these studies, learning Sanskrit and Prakrit. And so one other thing we wanted to do today is explore how this is a very unique time. And the reason this is a unique time is, as we said, on November 9th, we celebrated the 155th birth anniversary of Shrimad Rajchandra. In a few days, it will be Kanji Swami's 42nd death anniversary. So that's why this is a very unique time that we are able to celebrate 2 very important gurus in Jain philosophy. And so Kartik Purnam is, as I said, the 155th Janm Jayanti of Krupalu Dev, and Kartik Vad Sevan, sorry if my pronunciations are incorrect, I apologize, is the passing away, the 42nd death anniversary of Kanji Swami, or his Samadhi Maran. And so today we are very fortunate to have a speaker who is going to show us and explain the connection between Krupalu Dev and Gurudev Kanji Swami. And we're very lucky to have this speaker. This speaker needs no introduction. All of you know him as, Dr. Kirit Gosalia from Phoenix, Arizona. He was very kind to come to this program in celebration. Many of you may not know that. I don't know him as Dr. Kirit Gosalia. I know him as Kirit Uncle. I've known him since I think I was 5 or 6 years old, and I was very fortunate to grow up with him, and our families have spent many, many years doing programs, learning from each other, and now as an adult, I feel like even more inspired because Kirit Uncle has been running a wonderful Atma Siddhi class online since the start of COVID. And so even though we had all these disruptions throughout COVID, as you all know, we were all able to continue our spiritual pursuits and journeys. And so with no further ado, I would like to bring up Dr. Gosalia to present on this. And in the beginning, we're going to see a short video in which Gurudev Kanji Swami, Ben Shri Ben, Ben Shri Champa Ben, and Niladen Sogani, all 3 who are self-realized souls, how they're going to share and show their appreciation to Param Krupalu Dev. And then Dr. Gosalia will show us these connections on how this will also uplift and continue our spiritual journey.
Jai Jain, everybody. Nimisha, thanks for introduction. I don't know whether I'm worthy of all the words or not, but I'm glad to be back to Jain Center of Southern California. Since the inception of this center, we have been able to take part in this one, and over the span of years, we learned from there so many things. And as a result, we also were able to construct the temple in the Phoenix. And so I invite all of you, before I start, that please visit. Almost all of you have visited, but again, come back again, and we'll be very glad to have you there. So here, yes, next one, please. Oh, I can do it from here. Okay. So this is the 155th birth anniversary of Krupalu Dev that we are celebrating. And at the same time, if you just see on this side, there are so many pictures are there. Of course, Nimisha already elaborated those things. That why do we have Kanji Swami's picture along with Srimad Ji? Srimad Ji's Janm Jayanti is there. Well, this particular Saturday, yes, it falls in between two important dates. 4 days before Srimad Ji's 155th birthday, and 3 days from now will be Sri Kanji Swami's death anniversary. And they both are related to each other spiritually, how they are related and how they shape the spirituality that what we know today, that's what we know about it. So before we start, I will have a homage given by Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, who was a self-realized soul. He lived for 91 years. For 45 years, he gave lectures on Samaysar and lots of other scriptures, and we'll just go through those things. Ben Sri Champaben, she was a self-realized soul, not only self-realized soul, but just like a Srimad Ji, she also had a Jati Smaran Gnan, knowledge of the past lives. Knowledge of the past lives can be there to anybody, but when it is associated with Samyak Darshan, then it becomes tremendously important thing. And third personality that we'll be listening to is Nihalchand Sogani Ji. He was looking for truth for many, many years and he can't find it. So someday he ended up getting the Atma Dharma, that's a magazine from Songad. He was in Calcutta with the other side of the country. He picked up train and came back to Songad, and he listened one lecture from Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami. He came back to his room, meditated whole night. Next day morning, he woke up with Samyak Darshan. So these are the three powerful personalities, and actually some of my friends, one of my mentors and everything, they said that they all had tremendous respect for Srimad Ji, that Kanji Swami, every pravachan, he will, at least once he will mention Srimad Ji's importance. Ben Sri Champaben, she has talked so many things about it. And Nihalchand Sogani Ji, when he passed away, on his chest, he had the Vachanamrut Ji. So you can imagine that these are the highly revered, self-realized soul, but then still they had a respect for Srimad Ji. And so we'll be starting, we'll look at those homage right now.
शांति अनंत सुधामय जे प्रणमो पतते वरते जयते प्रणमो पतते वरते जयते प्रणमो पतते वरते जयते.
This is Kanji Swami's.
તારી પ્રભુતાની વાતો આપા ભગવાન પણ પૂર્ણ કહી શક્યા નથી. જે સ્વરૂપ સર્વજ્ઞે દીઠું જ્ઞાનમાં, જે સ્વરૂપ સર્વજ્ઞે દીઠું જ્ઞાનમાં, કહી શક્યા નહીં તે પણ શ્રી ભગવાન જો. તે વાણીને અન્ય વાણી તે શું કહે, અનુભવ ગોચર માત્ર રહ્યું તે જ્ઞાન જો. શ્રીમદ રાજચંદ્ર થઈ ગયા છે, 33 વર્ષની ઉંમરે દેહ છૂટી ગયો છે, પણ એમને એકાવતારી થઈ ગયા છે. લાખોનો વેપાર ઝવેરાતનો હતો મુંબઈમાં, છતાં અંદરમાં ભીન પડી ગયેલો નાળિયેરનો ગોળો જેમ છૂટો પડે એમ ધર્મીને સમ્યક દર્શનમાં રાગથી અને દેહથી અંદર ભીન ગોળો ભીન પડી ગયેલો હોય છે. એ શ્રીમદે પોતે 33 વર્ષની ઉંમરમાં દેહ છૂટી ગયો, છતાં એનો અનુભવની દ્રષ્ટિના જોરથી એટલું બધું આવ્યું હતું કે અમારે હવે એકાદ ભવ કરવાનો છે બાપુ. અમે હવે અમારા સ્વદેશમાં જવાના છીએ. અમારો સ્વદેશ અંદર ચૈતન ભગવાન એ મારો દેશ છે. આ દેશ નહીં, અરે પુણ્યને પાપના પરિણામ પણ પ્રભુ અમારો દેશ નહીં.
તમે કઈ શ્રીમદ રાજચંદ્રને પર પ્રકાશ કરી શકો? કારણ કે એને હું ગુરુ તરીકે માનું છું અને મને એના પર બહુ પ્રેમ લાગે છે.
હા, એ સમ્યક દ્રષ્ટિ સ્વાનુભૂતિ પામેલા હતા અને નાનપણથી જ એમની કોઈ વૈરાગી હતા, એકદમ એને વિચાર શક્તિ તીવ્ર હતી, એમનું જ્ઞાન કેવું હતું. એ ગ્રસ્તાશ્રમમાં રહેતા પણ કોઈ ન્યારા જ રહેતા હતા, તો એમની સ્વાનુભૂતિ ગ્રસ્તાશ્રમમાં પ્રગટ થયેલી હતી, તો ન્યારા જ રહેતા. એ આત્મરસ ચાખો હરિરસ કહો, અમે તો અમને કોણ ઓળખી શકે, એમ બધું લખેલું. તો આત્માની સ્વાનુભૂતિ એમને પ્રગટ થઈ હતી.
અનેકાંત પણ સમ્યક એકાંત એવા નિજ પદની પ્રાप्ति सिवाय अन्य हेतु है उपकारी नहीं. श्रीमद जी का यह वाक्य मुझे बहुत प्रिय लगता है. शुद्ध बुद्ध चैतन्य घन स्वयं ज्योति सुखधाम. कैसी सुंदर बात श्रीमद जी ने की है. एक पंक्ति में सब बात आ गई. बस भाई तू इतना ही विचार कर.
शुद्ध बुद्ध चैतन्य घन स्वयं ज्योति सुखधाम. बीजू कहिए केतन कर विचार तो
देव छता जेनी दशा वर्ते देहाती. ज्ञानी ना चरण मां हो वंदन अग्नि. देव छता जेनी दशा वर्ते देहाती. ज्ञानी ना चरण मां हो वंदन अग्नि. ज्ञानी ना चरण मां हो वंदन अग्नि. ज्ञानी ना चरण मां हो वंदन अग्नि.
So this was the self-realized personalities. They are giving homage to their guru, that they just said Srimad Ji was their guru also, you know. And for me, personally speaking, Srimad Ji and Gurudev Kanji Swami, they both are dear to my heart. They are my guru. Whatever I know today is because of them shaping up my life. And so even after 155 years, more than 150 years, that they are affecting our lives so beautifully. So next thing, we are just going to quickly go through it, that Srimad Ji's life. So, birth, again, you already saw the Biren winning the whole game and everybody, I mean, probably he knew the answers, everybody ahead of the time. Did you create the questions yourself? Yes, that's what it is. Now, Biren is I mean, I know Biren for many, many, many decades, I guess, because... No, his dad is he was an extreme close friend of mine, and so when Biren was little teeny tiny boy, since then I know him. Very good, thank you, Biren. So, Srimadji, birth Kartik Purnima, Vikram Samvat 1924. Next was, that is on 9th November 1867, and I think even Anna only knew the answer too. She said, yeah, that's what the answer is. That's good. It was Bhavania, Saurashtra, Rauji Bai and Dev Bai were the parents. At 16 years of age, tender age of 16, he wrote down Mokshmala, 108 chapters that we also saw that in a Kahoot game. But on 67th chapter, the ink fell down on that book. And so he said, okay, I'll rewrite. Instead of rewriting, he put the Amulya Tattva Vichar that Praveen Bhai, that he just absolutely fantastically presented, and Mrs. Praveen Bhai, who just gave the answers, the dictation to the. So that was very, very nice. So age 60. First, when the first chapter was, first publication was sold out, the publisher came to him, Srimadji, and said, sir, do you want to change anything because we are going to reprint? And he says, every letter written, every word written, they are perfect, nothing to be changed. 16-year-old young man saying those kind of words, the confidence, amazing, amazing. At age 24, he obtained Samyak Darshan, and age 29, this is most important date that he wrote down Atmasiddhi Shastra, and that one has revolutionized the whole world. But when he wrote down, he said that he made 4 copies, gave it to his 4 disciples and says, do not publicize. Why? Why not? Because there was a tremendous darkness was going on for the spirituality purpose in Jainism during those times. And he said people will misunderstand that one. And he said later on somebody is going to talk about it. And that did happen. After 42 years of writing that Atmasiddhi Shastra, Gurudev Singh Kanji Swami, for the first time ever in Rajkot during the 4 months of monsoon season, he gave lectures, and those are the very first time Atmasiddhi Shastra, the discourses were given in great absolute detail. And so that's really, that's why these 2 personalities are related to each other. And unfortunately, Srimadji knew that he has a very short lifespan, so he didn't want to change the whole world. He said, whatever work that I'm going to leave right now, people are going to work on that one in the future. And that turned out to be true also. So, he had extreme sharp intellect. He had, he also did the ability to remember 100 different things at a given time, and he showed that intellect. And he was told that the Britisher said, well, we'll take you to London. He said, I don't care about this publicity, because, so he just stopped doing from that day onwards. Then he has a Jatisman Gnan, at the age of 8, that as we saw these young girls, that they presented the lifestyle, life history, that he obtained Jatisman Gnan at that time, a very young age. Then he continued his style of dissemination of the information was later writing, because the travel was difficult. Going from 5 to 10 kilometers away also was a big deal. And so he continued those things by the later writing. The disciple will ask question and he will send the letter. And composite of all the letter that we saw, that red book over here is called Srimadji Vachramrut. And that is in the book form right now, that we are fortunate to have it available to all of us. And he also obtained Samyak Darshan in this life. His journey started with Mahavir Swami's Samosaran. And then in this life, we were extremely fortunate that he took birth over here and he guided us all these things to us. So this is in a short in his lifestyle. So Srimadji's primary means of dissemination of the spiritual principle was through letter writing, and postcard will be there, and he will write the postcard to people, and then answers will be given. He connected his disciple will ask questions through mail, and he will answer. Collections of such letters as we see, this is Vachanamruji, that is over here. 926 pages are there, and this book is published in many different world languages right now. Okay, so I'm doing two different things. Okay. So this is that book that we see, Srimadji's Vachanamruji book that we see over here. Okay, so Srimadji also said that when you want to study, this was in Kartik Vad 11, 1956. Remember, his Deh Vilay was 1957, so last part of his life. He said that to be with the spirituality, to be with the soul, this kind of 27 different, 20 different scriptures to be read. Somebody wants to really obtain spirituality, these are the scripture one should go for it. So this is very important, the homework that he had given it to us. And most of those things are Samachar, Prajansar, Panchastika, and those are the things that Kunkun Acharya wrote down 2000 years back, and lots of other acharyas in the lineage, they wrote down all the scriptures for our understanding. Now we are just getting relationship with the Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami and Srimadji. So Gurudev Kanji Swami also gave lectures on 37 different scriptures, and these are the names that over here for 45 years. Here the Samaisar was dear to his heart, and so 19 times every day, rain or shine, he had given pravachan on Samaisar. And about 9,200 hours of pravachans are available free of charge, download on the internet, and vitragvani.com and atmadharma.com and varieties of other websites, you have those things available. And sometimes, remember, we are talking technology from 1967 and 1960s and everything, so sometimes voice quality was not that great, so they also have now video with those lectures on that screen also, so one can really understand those kind of things. So that is Srimadji and Gurudev Kanji Swami, both when they give those lectures, when they recommended those books, more or less they were the same for both these Gnani Purush, both these enlightened souls. So, Srimadji and Samaisar, how is Srimadji and Samaisar related? Because Samaisar was written by Kunkun Acharya Dev 2000 years back on the palm leaves in the Ardha Magdi language. And we were so absolutely fortunate that it was preserved all throughout. And 1,000 years from now, but from the 1,000 years back, Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev written that commentary on this Samaisar, which was written 2,000 years back. This commentary is so perfect. Gurudev Kanji Swami says that this commentary of Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, as if Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev went into the heart of Kunkun Acharya Dev and just wanted to see exactly what he wanted to convey. So that thing is available in the form of Samaisar today in front of us, and it's available written in the book forms and audio, and lots of other things are available. And today, last year, somebody from India created Talking Samaisar. There's a huge, big book, and there's a cursor given to you, so you touch that particular area, and it will give you what that Samaisar, what that Gurudev is talking about. Lecture will be there, stavans will be there, and all kind of things. So if you want to have that Talking Samaisar, later on talk to me, and then we can arrange to have those things delivered from Bombay to us. So Samaisar was published by Shrimad Ji in Gujarati language, and because Shrimad Ji established, prior to his demise, he established Param Sut Prabhavak Mandal in Agas. And this organization published the book Samaisar in year 1919, Vikram Samvat 1095. Gurudev Kanji Swami, he ended up receiving this Samaisar 2 years down the road, and when he got the Samaisar, he said, this scripture, O Shariri Thavanu Shastra Che, this scripture will lead one to become liberated soul. So this is, Srimad Ji did a tremendous amount of work, and because of this publication, and Kanji Swami ended up getting Samaisar 100 years back, and last year we finished the 100th anniversary of Kanji Swami obtaining Samaisar, and every varieties of centers did so many things, and we were fortunate enough in North America that we also established 3 different endowment chair, and that was one in University of Florida, one in University of Connecticut, and biggest one is Arizona State University. And we also are working with a museum to be coming up in London, April 14, 2023, in the University of London, in Brunei Gallery, which will be for 10 weeks. And it will be on pure soul, Suddhatma. And this is the first time ever Western world will be able to hear what this Samaisar is about, and how Srimad Ji and Gurudev Kanji Swami work together to propagate this thing, to have the information available at our own disposal. So Srimad Ji, spiritual makeup. Life story has been said, but spiritual makeup, what is it? At age 7 he obtained knowledge from the previous life, Jati Smaran Gnan. Age 16, he wrote down Bhavana Bodh and Mokshmala. Then his poetic excellencies are visible in the Atmasiddhi and Apurva Avsar, etc. poems. And at the age of 24, he obtained enlightenment. And age 29, he wrote Atmasiddhi Shastra. That was epitome of his life, the Atmasiddhi Shastra, 142 verses. Majority of people sitting over here, they have it by heart. They remember everything by heart, and almost, or not almost, every day they recite also this Samaisas, the Atmasiddhi stanzas. So Srimad Ji style was later writing, and that's where he disseminated his spirituality, knowing that not at that time, 150 years back, but later on in this time, for our lifetime, that it will be available for all of us to digest that one. So it says that spiritual message was through the 6 tenets, and first one was soul is there, Atma Che. Soul is eternal, Atma Nitya Che. Soul is a doer, Atma Karta Che. Soul is an enjoyer, Atma Bhokta Che. So liberation is there, moksha is there, and the path to liberation is there. And one must understand and then follow it, and it will lead to, it will remove it. This is my typo over here, I'm sorry, please forgive me. It will remove the infinite ignorance that we have it since time infinite amongst us. So then what did Kanji Swami say? I mean, his style was oral lecture delivery. He, in 45 years of his delivering lecture, he hardly wrote a few things only, but most of the things are from lectures that they have been preserved for 9,200 hours of lecture series are available for all of us to learn, listen, and lots of people, they will not go to sleep without listening. One of my Sanskrit teacher back home from Jaipur, where you are working in Jaipur, Rajasthan University, he will teach me Sanskrit at 10 o'clock night his time and my 9:30 morning. And I said, Panditji, go to sleep. He said, no, I still have to listen to lecture before I go to sleep. So lots and lots and lots of people, they have this habit of listening to this lecture prior to, as the day ends. So that's what it is. So now, here. So Gurudev's lifestyle was, his style was to lecture delivery, and sorry, I'm doing too many things. Okay. And he gave message for liberation of the soul from infinite misery. He kept on saying, Tu Sudhatma Che. You remember? I mean, if you remember the famous word he said, his famous sentences that he has, Tu Atmachem Nakki Kar, Tu Atmachem Nirnay Kar, Tu Atmachem Anubhuti Kar. You just decide that you are the perfect soul, you are the God. You realize, you remember, you experience, you know it, and you get engrossed in that one. Those are the famous words that he gave. Srimad Ji also explained to us how to obtain Samyak Darshan, and same thing Gurudev said, Tu Bhagwan Che, you are the Lord. So wake up and do all the things, you know. So he gave the advice. The Gurudev Kanji gave advice by 5 different points, and that's a absolute point, conventional point, principal cause, auxiliary cause, and modes coming in sequential order. These are absolute 5 principles. If somebody can digest these 5 principles from Gurudev Kanji Swami and 6 tenets from Srimad Ji, this life is made. We are on the path to obtain Samyak Darshan. Absolutely no doubt about it. And this is the greatest the gift they both these saints, they gave it to us, and that's why we are celebrating both the things today for these personalities. So now again we are just going to go comparison that Srimad Ji wrote on Atma Siddhi. Gurudev Kanji Swami gave discourses on Atma Siddhi Shastra, as we said, 42 years down the road, and those are the epic. Those who do not have that book, you download that book, Atma Siddhi Shastra Upar Gurudev Sana Pravachan, from vitragvani.com or atmadharma.com, and it is amazing. When I take my Atma Siddhi classes for last several years, that's a book I follow, and Srimad Ji's original writing. So that's amazing thing that we can learn. So when soul is, Srimad Ji says, up to 42 stanza, 43 stanza, he just builds up the base out of 142 stanza. First 42 stanza, he's building up the base, just tells that who I am, where I am wrong and everything. I am the either blind ritualist or I am the dry, knowledgeable personality. So, to get out of that thing, and then he starts at 45th stanza onwards, he starts explaining that who I am. So what he says, and what Gurudev Kanji Swami expanded on it, that soul exists just like other substances, soul is independent. These are the 2 personalities, gigantic personalities. They just said that soul is independent. Soul has no dependency on anything in this universe. So, what is death? Death is simply dissociation from this the physical body, but soul is eternal, existing forever. So, those are the things that happen from 45 to 58 stanza. Soul is eternal, 59 to 70 stanza. There, Gurudev Kanji Swami also explained all the same thing, that you are not alone, you are not transient. The soul is eternal. First 2 bullets that we have, the second and third bullet, that will refute other philosophies, and Srimad Ji never, ever refuted other philosophies. He put the facts. Soul is there. That means those who are nihilistic people, those who do not believe in the soul, then he refutes them. Soul is eternal because some people believe soul is transient. So people who believe soul is transient, he just refuted that theory. So, yes. Okay. I'm being told that just shut up. No, it's okay. Sorry. That's why I don't watch there. I don't know the time. Okay, anyway. Okay, so soul is eternal. Thereafter, soul is a doer. Soul is an enjoyer. Liberation is there, and means of liberations are there. And these are the two personalities. They put both things together for us to understand everything. Then Srimad Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, that's what it is coming next, I think. Gurudev Kanji Swami has given several lectures, and each lecture he will remember Srimad Ji. And some of the things, I have actually several slides, but no, I'll cut it down, so don't worry. Sorry. So, Srimad Ji says, this is most powerful statement, and I love it so much. It says, Anekanpan ek samyak ekant eva nit saruti prapti svay anya koi hoti upkari nathi. Means, Srimad Ji said that a multiplicity point of view is useless unless it leads you to the experiencing of the soul. I have heard many Western scholars, I beg to differ, and I'm sorry, I differ with you, because this sentence is so powerful that, you scratch the surface only. But what Srimad Ji said, that this is what it is. It has to lead you to the self-realization. Then it's called a multiplicity point of view in true meaning. So that's what Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami said, that thing. This is the time Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami went to Vavania, that the birthplace of Srimad Ji, and there he delivered the lecture and he spoke on this thing. And so that whole lecture is available. Those who are interested, I can share with you. It is amazing way he has explained, and right into the place where Srimad Ji was born. So thereafter, I have quite a few things, but then I'm going to go away. I'm not going to go through it. But those who are interested, that we can just talk about it. Yes, we can continue this one. This one also will continue. Okay, now, because it is also last 2 minutes for me only, because it's also the passing away of our Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, so we are going to have one very appropriate poem that has been very famous, and that has been played on this day. So just give me 2 minutes to listen to this poem. It's just amazing, such beautiful. Each time I listen to that, I end up crying,
હર્ષે સથવારો ચંદ ભાઈ ઘેર મોતી રે પાક્યું ઉજંબા માતાનું રતન આજબ ક્યું બહાવી વિતરાગી વાણી ધારા રે તારો મને સાંભળશે સતવારો ગુરુ મને સાંભળશે સતવારો સમવસરણ સુનું રે થાશે સ્વર્ણપુરીની શોભા કરમાશે તારો થતા રે તારો મને સાંભળશે સતવારો ગુરુ મને સાંભળશે સતવારો ભક્તો વિનવે ગુરુજી ફરીથી પધારો માતાજીને રહી ગયો વિરહ આતારો ભક્ત વિનવે ગુરુજી એક વાર આવો પાછા ફરો ગુરુ વાલા રે તારો મને સાંભળશે સતવારો ગુરુ મને સાંભળશે સતવારો માતા હૃદયે મારા चिर विहार रे गुरु तारो सांभर से सतवारो गुरु माने सांभर से सतवारो तारो
Jai Jinendra. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kirit. That was so enlightening. Even I didn't knew that there were so many connections between Kanji Swami and Srimad Ji's, and I really need to download the books and check with you after this program. After this, we are pretty much to the end of this beautiful spiritual journey that we have started. बट अभी मैं आमंत्रित कर रही हूँ जयश्री आंटी एंड कल्पना आंटी को जो इस पूरे प्रोग्राम की सूत्रधार हैं. They did really lot of hard work behind this program and incredible amount of energy they both have. I could say that how much effort they have put from all the way from A to Z with this for this program, and I would say in fact the whole family has been involved and they have put their best effort. They both have a desire to educate our Jain community about the the contributions of Shrimad Rajchandraji. So with that, I'll invite Jayashri Auntie and Kalpana Auntie here.
Jai Jinendra. Everybody knows me now, so I don't have to say I'm Jai Shri Parekh.
Jai Jinendra. I'm Kalpana Shah.
A warm and graceful day to our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Anna Baisal, our guest speaker, Dr. Kirit Gosalia from Phoenix, Arizona. All the participants of the program, management, committee, and everyone gathered here.
It is my pleasure, it is my privilege to offer vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who have worked hard, really hard, to make this event possible.
On behalf of Sri Digambar Jain Kun Khan Group at Jain Center of Southern California, we extend my sincere thanks to our Dev, Guru and Shastra in making today's event a great success.
On behalf of Sri Digambar Jain Kun Khan Group at Jain Center of Southern California, we extend a hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest, Professor Anna Baisal, who spared her precious time from her busy schedule to grace the occasion. Today we had opportunity to hear her thoughts and ideas which will surely encourage us in all our future endeavors. Your academic input in this program is greatly appreciated.
I also want to thank our guest speaker, Dr. Kirit Gosalia, who has come from Phoenix, Arizona, for his active participation in our event. He has earned his name as a Jain scholar and is very well known not only in the USA, but globally as well. Your deep intellectual way of imparting knowledge has added to the glory to this event. You have made this day enlightening for us. I'm sorry we couldn't let you finish, so you have to come back.
Dr. Gosalia, we have received a lot of information today, which will truly help us in our life. We do not have enough words to offer gratitude for your valuable presence here. You have enlightened us about the relation between two gigantic personalities of modern times.
I also want to extend thanks to all the participants who have shown their devotion toward our entitled saints.
On behalf of our organization, I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to Jain Center of Southern California. I would like to express our sincere thanks to our wonderful president, Yogesh Bhai, for his willingness to help and his corporation. Also, a big thank you to all other Jain Center committee members, Vice President Samir Bhai Shah, he's here, Public Relations Piyush Bhai Jain, and Mahesh Bhai Shah for their support and making this self-supportive Jain Center event and letting us use these Jain Center facilities.
An event like this cannot happen overnight. This wheel started rolling months ago. It requires planning and bird's eye view for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very productive, dedicated volunteers. I am short of words for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of the task beyond their comfort zone. Many thanks to our committee members, Sachin Mehta, Rashmi Shroff, Nupur Jain, for working so many hours to take part in planning and executing.
A special thanks to Darshan Shah, Aparna Mehta, and Alay Bhayani for their contributions to make this program happen. And how about our MCs? Prabhashri Jain and Nimisha Parekh. A big thank you to such energetic and enthusiastic women, both of them for their excellent coverage and witty remarks. We are also thankful to Dilip Bhai and Sushma Ben, who are leaders of LA Raj Parivar, for their great support and success of this project.
Last but not the least, we thank each and every one of you for being here and supporting this event. I am grateful to all the audience for coming here and for their best wishes for this event. Without you, would not have created this memorable celebration to our Param Krupalu Dev Janm Jayanti.
We have tried our best to mention everyone's name who were involved in the event management, but unknowingly, if we have missed anyone's name, please forgive us, Michami Dukram. Now we are looking forward to arranging more events like this in future with your support. And don't forget, we have lunch ready for us outside after our Aarti. So please wait for that. And after that, please don't leave without the lunch. Have a great day.
All right, so we're right at the end of our program. We are now going to do Aarti and Mangal Divo. Mukund Shah has taken the Aarti, but he could not join us today. So in his place, Shushma Parekh and Biren Mehta are going to take the Aarti. And then we also have Mangal Divo available for anyone who would like to take it for $101. So please, Shushma, Ben, and Biren, come on up and we'll start the Aarti and Mangal Divo. And come with your families, please. Okay. Kirt Gosalia and Vibhuti Gosalia will be taking Mangal Divo. And anyone else can still come up and join. And then please do remember after Aarti Mangal Divo, please come join us for a lunch. Swami Vatsalya. And as our organizers had mentioned, great thank you to everybody, but we'd like to give an extra round of applause and thank you for Sachin Mehta and our wonderful AV team back here with Sapan and his team. None of this would have gone seamlessly without all of their support, so thank you.
Om Shri Adina Om Shri Adina
करे तो
सुख पूरे,
शिव सुख पूरे, शिव सुख पूरे। जय जय आरती आदि जिनंदा, आदि जिनंदा, आदि जिनंदा।
जय हो पंचमी आरती पुण्य उपाया,
पंचमी आरती पुण्य उपाया।
मूल चंद ऋषभ गुण गाया,
मूल चंद ऋषभ गुण गाया,
ऋषभ गुण गाया, ऋषभ गुण गाया,
ऋषभ गुण गाया, ऋषभ गुण गाया। जय जय आरती आदि जिनंदा, नाभिराया मरुदेवी को नंदा, आदि जिनंदा, आदि जिनंदा, आदि जिनंदा, आदि जिनंदा।
जय आदिनाथ, जय आदिनाथ, नमो नमो श्री आदिनाथ।
जय आदिनाथ, जय आदिनाथ, नमो नमो श्री आदिनाथ। जय आदिनाथ, जय आदिनाथ,
श्री आदिनाथ, श्री आदिनाथ, जय आदिनाथ, जय आदिनाथ।
આ શું છે? આ સ્વિચનો વધતો છે. ચાલો હાલો. હાલો.
आरती उतारण बहु चिरंजीवो, आरती उतारण बहु चिरंजीवो। दीवो रे दीवो प्रभु मंगलिक दीवो, दीवो रे दीवो प्रभु मंगलिक दीवो। आरती